All right. Hello, everyone. Um, I really ain't got nothing to do today, so I decided to take some time out of my 4th of July to hang out with y'all a little bit. What I have today is that a law firm secretary was viciously unalived, and we're gonna figure out what happened.
True crime cases with topics and details that may not be suitable for everyone, but it will always stand on the side of justice and innocent victims above all else. It will never cater to the ego of a monster. Viewer discretion is advised. In late 2012, staff at a Macon, Georgia law firm known as Calder Pinkston became alarmed when 58-year-old legal secretary Gail Barrington Spencer didn't show up for work on October 5th. Gail had been working at the practice for over a decade, looking after multiple employees and managing affairs in the bustling office. She was a single, hardworking woman, well known for her dedication to her professional career. Gail handled virtually all of Calder Pinkston's financial transfers. In fact, she was held in such high regard at the company that she was permitted to move large sums of the firm's money without even needing authorization from upper management. At a real estate firm like Calder Pinkston, that's a massive responsibility, one indicative of the trust the practice held for her. Gail Spencer was also rarely tardy from work, let alone absent. But absence met with radio silence was simply unprecedented in her long history at the law firm. With Gail nowhere to be found, her colleague and fellow legal secretary, 38-year-old Tracy Jones, filled in for the missing woman, assuming Gail's role at Calder Pinkston for the day. She was even granted access to the computer where Gail handles the firm's financial accounts. Tracy Jones had only been employed at the business for a year, during which time her and Gail certainly had their differences. Differences mainly stemming from the fact that Tracy was disorganized and often failed to show up for work on time. The contrast of professional ethics between the two rubbed Gail the wrong way. The following early morning at around 2 a.m. on October 6th, Ken Dalton and his wife returned home to find their dog Camo outside barking wildly. His neighbor, Gail Spencer, knowing the couple wouldn't be home until late, had agreed to let Camo back inside their house that evening. Trusting Gail's good, reliable nature, the Daltons immediately sensed that something was off about the situation. Their concerns peaked upon noticing the lights were still on inside Gail's house. Unable to make contact with her, Ken called the police and requested a welfare check. After arriving at the residence, police make entry to the house, where they find Gail Spencer dead in her bedroom with a plastic bag over her head. The medical examiner later found that she had been suffocated and intimately violated in a humiliating way. Her sister is quoted as saying that the murderer left Gail without her dignity. Just one day later, on October 7th, police were tipped off by a letter they received from someone calling themselves Dustin. Dustin claimed a friend of his had offered to let him in on a plan to murder an older woman, steal a large sum of money, and then flee the country. Dustin claimed his friend's name was Brett Kelly. Around this same time, Calder Pinkston receives a call about missing money from an escrow account relating to a real estate deal that the firm's about to close. The missing finances total roughly to the tune of about $1 million. Gail Spencer has been murdered, Calder Pinkston is in a panic, and Tracy Jones has stopped answering calls. But with both the company and the banks closed for the long Columbus Day weekend, there's not much that can be done immediately. While Calder Pinkston tries to locate the lost money and find its now second missing legal secretary, Tracy Jones, the police desperately search for the aforementioned Brett Kelly to question him regarding the death of Gail Spencer, only to find out that Brett had just recently applied for his passport. But when authorities are finally able to locate Tracy Jones, they realize that what happened to Gail Spencer was just the tip of the iceberg.
I don't know what happened to her. She was fine when I left. That's all I know.
When it matters most, George
Lies.
Lawyers delivers results. I was rear-ended by a drunk driver. They got me $1.5 million.
Go with the name you know and trust.
You've waited long enough. Now's the time to start your path to a college degree with Converse 2, where adult learners like you boldly pursue their goals. Get started today at converse.edu. Together, we will transform your career and your life.
Oh, I know.
You are there at Gail's house that morning. Gail is getting ready to send your coach to work. Gail doesn't show up to work.
And we all thought that was weird. 58-year-old Gail Spencer was found dead in her home on Stinsonville Road Saturday morning. Her body was found after firefighters responded to a welfare check.
Spencer's death was a result of, quote, suffocating at her home. Investigators say when Spencer's body was found at this home, there were no signs of forced entry and her car wasn't there. 41 NBC first showed you this video last night of a silver Acura being pulled from the church parking lot. I spoke with police today who confirmed the car belonged to Spencer. Spencer's body was found with no visible injuries. She was discovered after neighbors noticed suspicious activity and called police for a welfare check.
Since we were not sure, we went ahead and started an investigation like we usually do. Treat it as a homicide until we get the autopsy results back. We got the autopsy results yesterday morning, and it was ruled as a homicide.
Neighbors I spoke with declined to go on camera, but they described Spencer as a sweet person who loved animals and was committed to her job.
Before this interview, the detectives had already spoken to Tracy Jones once about the murder of her co-worker, Gail Spencer. But this is Tracy's first interview where she's questioned in a way that's conducive to her being a suspect in the matter. Initially, she's left alone in the interrogation room for 25 minutes before anyone greets her. This room might look somewhat familiar if you recall the Lauren Giddings case from 2011. And that's because it is in fact the same room where murder suspect Stephen McDaniel was interviewed roughly a year prior to Gail's murder. Stephen was later convicted of killing, intimately violating, and dismembering Lauren Giddings in the very same town where Gail Spencer's body was discovered.
We just don't know where she is.
What about in the parking lot area? I know they've been doing a lot of, I think that's where they have recovered body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body.
Had you seen anything there? Have you seen anything there? I mean, we don't know if this is the same person. You know what I mean? Like, they took out a body there earlier. We don't know if it's the same person or not. So that's why we're trying to ask people if they know who lived there. Are you okay, sir?
I think it's
Okay.
Lauren and Stephen were both law students at Mercer Law University. The fact that both of these cases involve victims and suspects in the legal field is nothing more than a mere coincidence. But the victorious conviction of Stephen McDaniel, and the fact that it largely stemmed from his disturbing interview in that very same room, likely has investigators riding high on a confidence boost. You'll probably pick up on that occasionally throughout the interview. At times, it possibly may even toe the line of minor boundary issues. Nothing major, but certainly things you would expect to see less of during police interviews almost 15 years later into the present.
Hey, Tracy. How are you doing today?
Okay, I'm tired.
You tired?
Yeah.
Why are you tired?
We got so much work at work. It drives me crazy.
Physical?
Yeah.
Stressful?
It's very stressful.
How you been sleeping?
I sleep. I have thyroid disease, so I sleep pretty good anyway.
You haven't been sleeping very well. Okay. Well, I wanted to talk to you again about Friday morning, the 5th of October.
Okay.
Now, let's go over what happened with you that morning. Okay?
Okay.
Tell me everything from the starting. Okay?
When I got up.
When you got up, let's go through the story.
Notice the moment Detective Shirley asks Tracy to recall, in detail, her actions on the last day her murdered co-worker was seen alive. She immediately pulls her left leg into her chair and proceeds to hug it close to her body. Hugging oneself could be seen as a sign of self-soothing and may indicate nervous vulnerability. Tracy is likely trying to make herself feel safe. This could also be a defensive measure and an attempt to place a shield between herself and what she perceives as a potential threat. The positioning of Tracy's chair The detective's seat and the door in the background are all significant features of this interview. Tracy is literally in a corner with nothing in between her and the man assertively asking her questions, but she is right next to a door that she's, so far, free to walk out of at any time. The detective can use all this to his advantage in order to change the dynamics of the interview whenever he feels like applying or releasing pressure.
All right, I got up. And I realized that, I realized the night before I didn't have any more war tabs.
Right.
Okay, and I remember my friend had told me that there was a guy over there. I might have been on the wrong road, I don't even know.
Who's your friend?
Brady.
Right.
She had told me that, that she knew a guy, his name was Eric, he lived on Hollyville something. She kind of gave me the directions. And so I said, all right, well, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go over there and see if the lights are on or something. I'll knock on the door and let him know I know her. So I got over there, and like I said, I might have been on the wrong road. I don't know, but I chickened out. There was no lights on none of the houses on that road. So my car wouldn't crank. So I walked up to Gail's because I knew Gail lived there. I was kind of scared she'd see me right by, and she'd be like, "What are you doing over here?" You know what I mean? So I knocked on the door. She came to the door. I said, "Gail, can I have something to drink? My car broke down, and I got to pee. I had to pee really bad." She said, "Yeah." So we walked, and she walked me into the bathroom. There was no toilet paper, and I had to holler, "Gail, there's no toilet paper." So she just cracked the door and, kind of threw it in there to me. Well, I came out, and I said, "I'm going to get me something to drink." She kind of stayed in her bedroom the whole time. And I got me something to drink, and I heard the door shut because I was at the sink. And so I hollered through the door, and I said, "Gail, I'm going to go try my car. If I don't come back, you'll know I got it. But if not, I'm going to have to come back. You might have to take me home so I can get ready to come to work." And
Why'd you go over to Gail's?
I just told you that.
Why did you go over there?
Why? Because I was kind of scared she saw me ride by or something, because I knew she was up, because she's told me she gets up early every morning.
So if you were scared that she saw you ride by, why don't you go over there?
Yeah, why?
Because I was scared she saw me. And then she'd be like, "What are you doing over here?" And I might say, "Well, I'm over here trying to find some drugs."
All right, so anyway,
You know what I mean?
so you go back to your car. Anyway,
You know what I mean?
so you go back to your car. Continue.
Okay, I get back to my car, and I try it, and it cranks up, and so I go home. I get my son up, I get him ready for school, I get ready, I take him to school, and I go straight to work.
Your son.
My 15-year-old.
Okay, 15. I thought you said you had two.
I do, but the 17-year-old don't go to school.
What's their names?
Scott and Dawn.
Scott and Dominic. Okay. So you get dressed, take them to school, and then what?
I went straight to work
What time did you get to work?
by 8:30.
Okay. What kind of car were you driving?
My car,
Your car? And you have what?
Honda Civic,
Okay. What color?
silver.
All right.
Detective Shirley likely knows the answer to some of the questions he's asking right now, such as how many kids Tracy has, their names, the model of her car, the color, and so on. But asking questions he knows the answer to helps him establish a baseline for how Tracy acts whenever she's telling the truth. This will in turn help him detect potential attempts at deception later on. While it's true that studying body language behavior isn't a certified way to detect when someone is lying, analyzing a cluster of markers over an extended period of time can help authorities expose soft spots in a potential facade. A facade is simply a deceptive outward appearance. It's not an indication of guilt, but breaking through it may well steer interrogators closer to the truth.
Was there anybody with you when you went over to where Gail is?
No, nobody was with me.
Nobody was in the car? Did you ever use Gail's phone?
No, I did not use Gail's phone.
Okay. All right. What was wrong with your car?
I think the battery cable gets loose sometimes because it does it on me often.
Okay. So usually when it don't crank, the first thing you would do is check that battery cable, right?
That or just sit there for a little bit and it'll finally crank. I don't know why it does it, but I guess it needed time.
You're so full of crap,
You
lady.
decide not to sit there and wait or jiggle around with it. You just walked over to Gail's.
Yeah, I was nervous. I was scared because I never knew.
Your story sounds like crap,
I'm
man.
not going to go buy drugs. I really didn't know what to do with myself. You know what I mean? So I said, well, I'm just going to walk over to Gail's. I was scared she saw me. Give me something to drink. I was about to die of thirst, and I had to pee really bad. So I said, I'll just walk up here. And I knew she had been sick, but she was sick Wednesday. I didn't get to see her Thursday at work.
What was she wearing? Was she in her pajamas?
No, I think she had on work clothes.
Like what?
I can't I'll be honest, can't remember. It seems like it was like an orangey top or something like that. But no, she had work clothes on. I know it wasn't pajamas.
Okay.
And she told me, she said, well, I gotta get ready. And she, like I said, she hauled that back to her bedroom. It's like she didn't want to deal with me or something.
She got a glass of water, right?
Yeah, I got me a glass of water.
Okay. Was it a glass, a cup?
It was a green cup.
Green cup. Okay. So you remember it was a green cup, but you can't remember what deal.
Yeah, but I guess because I looked at it. But like I said, because she came to the door and she like hauled butt back to her bedroom.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you what I had on that
All right.
morning.
Well, let's do this. Let me go ahead and let you know this, okay?
Okay.
All right. And I'm not trying to be rude or mean.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But I am going to be firm with you.
Okay.
All right, Tracy? The lower tab deal, going over there to Eric's and everything, all right, I've already confirmed that's a lie. That's a lie.
That's not a
Listen to me.
Okay.
Listen. Tracy, I don't know if you have done got yourself, I don't know if you were involved in this from the beginning or if you got drug into it and didn't mean to. But your story about going over there to get drugs, I've already been talking to people that said no, it's a lie. Okay? And the fact that you knew where Gail lived at, no, that's a lie too. All right? So listen, the only thing you're going to do is make it harder on yourself. So let's stop the bullshit. Do you want to help yourself or do you want to go deeper?
I'm not bullshitting. I don't know what happened to her. She was fine when I left. That's all I know. How would I have anything to do with what happened to her?
I also know that you weren't alone. No. Tracy,
I wasn't
no.
wrong. Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Okay. Negative. You were not.
Okay.
If you're a long-term follower of channels like Jim Can't Swim, you'll likely recognize the read technique being used here. This is orchestrated in an interrogation when a detective asserts that he definitely knows a suspect did something or that he can prove their guilt, even when that may not actually be the case. Once the read technique is performed, the next step is often monitoring the suspect's response to the accusation. Both innocent and guilty people will likely display agitation, but when measured on a scale of 1 to 10, an innocent person will likely hit a 9 or a 10 and stay there. On the other hand, someone with a higher chance of being guilty will likely come in at about a 3 or 4 before quickly settling down into a quiet, attentive state in order to find out what the detective knows.
The NVIDIA GeForce RTX 50 series graphics cards have officially debuted, delivering unmatched performance and state-of-the-art technology to our new systems at Origin PC. Here's what you...
To a quiet, attentive state in order to find out what the detective knows.
You have kids.
Yes, I do.
Okay. You have a 15-year-old.
Yes, I do.
Right. And how old you up?
17.
Okay. You're a 15-year-old, right? You're still in school, still basically a baby, everything else, okay? You need to start thinking about him, okay?
I know that.
All right? So you need to start thinking about him. Now, are you going to keep lying to me or not?
I'm not lying. Why would I have anything to do with any of
Tracy,
this?
we know better. Tracy,
Know better.
we know better.
Okay.
Okay, we know better. All right? We know things already. All right?
Okay.
So now you going to sit here and lie or not?
I mean, I'm not lying. I've told you everything.
All right? You didn't go over there to get no Lord tabs.
Yes, I did.
All right? All right. Who gave you the information?
My friend Brandy.
Brandy who? Okay. So, if I talk to Brandy, is Brandy going to say, yeah, I told her.
I'm sure she will, but her husband don't know she takes Lortab, so I don't know.
Okay.
But she told me that. I don't have anything to do with none of this, and it's really breaking my heart that I like Gail. I love Gail.
All right.
I don't know what happened to Gail. I know she's dead, and you don't think that don't upset all of us?
All of us is ahead of you.
Me and everybody at work.
Yeah.
It's driving us crazy.
Let's do this, Tracy, okay? Let's do this. All right, you are there at Gail's house. You said to go to work.
It looked like she was to me.
Okay. Gail doesn't show up to work. All right?
And we all thought that was weird.
Okay. Then Saturday morning at 3:30 Saturday morning, she's found dead in her house, still with her work clothes on. You are the last person to see her alive.
That don't mean I had anything to do with it.
I don't know.
I know I
You're gonna have
did.
to convince me.
I know I didn't.
Why do you think I was telling you? I don't know if there's something that you got drug into.
I promise you I'd have
Okay.
no. If I knew what happened to her, I would be the person. I would have done came down here and said, this is what I think happened, or this is what, I don't know. It was just a coincidence.
I've got two different versions that you told about what happened. That you were taking a friend home.
And I told you why I told my work that.
That doesn't make any sense.
I didn't want them to know I was over there looking for drugs.
You didn't have to tell them that.
Okay, well,
But it doesn't, see, let me put yourself in my shoes. Would that make any sense to you?
I understand why it don't make no sense to you. Okay.
Alright.
But that was the way I mean, if you think I had anything to do with that, why would I even tell my work I went by there? I mean, that would have been stupid.
That's
Hello?
right. That's right. Well, I've seen a lot of
It's a
stupid things.
coincidence.
All of this is just a coincidence.
That I happen to be by there. Of course it is. I can never do
You
nothing
full
like that.
SSIT lady.
And I couldn't have anything to do with any
You's a
of it.
bullshitter.
I could have anything to do with her. I love her. I can't even handle that job without her there. It's driving me crazy.
Tracy, listen, I know, okay? I don't, but there's,
You don't know how stressed I am. You have no idea without her there. It's driving me crazy. It's driving me nuts. I really just want to quit my job because I don't know that I can do it without her there. But I can't leave him there with it because none of them, like, we have a closing day at 3 o'clock. None of them know how to do it but me. And I just had to walk up and leave everything. And they don't know how to do it. And I can't walk up and leave them like that. I promise you, if I know anything or if I knew anything, I would be the first one down here telling you.
A Freudian slip is an unintentional error in someone's speech that reveals their true subconscious feelings. In reference to what happened to Gail, Tracy just said, if I know anything, or if I knew anything. She was right the first time. Tracy definitely knows something. Then she follows that sentence up with, I would be the first one down here telling you. She likely meant to say, the first thing I do is come down here and tell you. Detectives would be correct to wonder what Tracy would be the first one of.
If y'all think I had something to do with it, I mean, what do I need to do?
First of all, he's not saying anything to do with it. No. He's saying you have a lot more information.
I don't
You
think
may not even
I have
realize.
any more information.
Just the people that we got in this, you know every single one of them. Yeah, you do.
yeah, you did.
You do.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. What did I tell you, Tracy? I told you. We know things. We already know. Okay? We already know, Tracy. Yes, Tracy, we do.
Okay, I'm confused.
The same people that you know, okay, are involved in this.
I don't understand how. I wouldn't know anybody involved in any of this.
Who all do you know?
I mean, I know a lot of people, but
I asked you yesterday, who all the people that you hang out with or that you're around? You were only able to give me one name. I had one of your coworkers came down here and was able to give me 3 or 4 names that they know that you have mentioned that you hang around with.
well, I mean, of course I have friends like my friend Tessa and
Tessa, okay, keep going.
Tessa and let me think, another girl named Tess, Brandy. I mean, I have friends I hang out with.
Right.
Effective, healthy blood pressure support takes more than innovation. It takes vision. At Human, our plant-based supplements are scientifically formulated to support the center of your health. And at the center of Super Beats Heart Powder,
Hang out with.
Right. I even asked you about guy friends. You were only able to give me, what was the name that you gave me?
Jason Woody, I know a Jason Law. I mean, but I don't really hang out with any guy friends.
Okay. I just said that about hanging out. All right. People that you know, people that you may socialize with from time to time. You know, you were only able to give us that Jason Woody's name yesterday. Is that right? That's right. Your coworker came down here, and I asked her about names that you may have brought up, people that you hang out with or whatever, and she was able to give me a Mike, a John, a Brent, and she's just a coworker.
Okay, first off, I don't know no Mike. Oh, Mike Wadsworth, that's my friend Stephanie's husband.
Okay.
I know a Brent Joyner, but me and him don't even talk or anything.
He was Brent Joyner.
I went to school with him.
Okay.
It's, Scott Chapman knows him.
Okay.
But I'll never talk to him or hang out with him. And who was the other one?
There was a John.
The only John I know is John Rowland, I believe, and that was my third husband's best friend, and I don't never talk to him. So I don't know where them names came from.
What about friends of your son's? They come over to your house?
I mean, he's got friends.
Like who?
Let's see, Jeremy and Daniel don't really come over there anymore. I'm trying to think. Jeremy, Hunter, Nick. I mean, he's got a lot of friends that come in and out of there.
Anybody that frequents often?
Yeah, they all do. They all come over there just about every day.
Who else?
I mean, you really want me to sit here and name all their names? My son's friends wouldn't have nothing to do with this.
Okay.
They're
Can I say they were?
16 to 17 years old.
That doesn't mean nothing. We've worked where 14 years to kill people. Okay? Alright?
I guess I just can't imagine that.
It happens.
I'm sure it does, but I can't imagine that it would happen. I couldn't never imagine anything like this would happen to Gail.
Well, it did.
I know it did, and I can't stand it. And I'm sorry, but I don't know how more I can help you.
You said you know a Brett. Who?
A Brent Joyner?
Brett Joyner? Right? Okay. How about Brett Kelly?
That's my son's friend.
Okay. You didn't name him?
I mean, I forget some of them. I
Just to talk that right off your tongue right then. Okay?
I just told you that he's got a lot of friends. A lot.
You just put that name, as soon as I said it, wasn't like, well, hold on a second.
Because they're friends.
Okay? You were able to pop that name right out your mind. Okay? You went over to Gales for a specific reason. It wasn't because your car broke down. Like I said, I don't know, okay, if you were put into this situation, okay, and I'm sorry if you were, and you didn't want to be, but you were drug into it, or I don't know if you were in on it from the day before the get-go. Okay? So what you have to do is you have to tell us. Alright?
I don't know what else I can tell you.
What business is it 233 Peachtree Street, Atlanta, Georgia?
It's a passport place.
Why would you need a passport place?
Because I would like to go out of town one day.
Out of town,
Yeah.
one day.
It seems
Dumbass.
would apply for their passport to, quote, go out of town someday. Most innocent people in this situation would just say that they're planning to travel to another country. But obviously, Tracy Jones isn't most innocent people.
I plan on me and my kids and going to the Bahamas or somewhere as soon as we can, just for a couple of days.
Are you aware that it's an expedited passport place?
No, what is that?
That means they do it fast, 2 weeks. And it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, I understand.
You know, you can get a passport at CVS.
Not,
Walgreens.
I didn't know you could just go in.
Yeah, it just takes longer. And it only costs a little bit of money.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
When did you contact this passport place?
I don't know, one day last week.
One day last week.
You don't remember what day?
No, I don't remember what day.
Who'd you speak to?
Woman, you're screwed, okay? You're screwed. Take the L and understand you're screwed.
Well, I want to take my boys, but there's some things I have to get their daddy to do.
Who's their daddy?
Leonard Scott Daniel.
Leonard Scott Daniel. Okay. So, why would Brett's name be involved in it?
Because him and my son are very good friends, and he wanted to go with us.
You said one day. You're talking like it's going to be next week.
Well, I mean, I would like to go soon.
You know, at that point, I mean, you're talking about one day. You said, no, you said one day, Tracy. You said one day. If I tell him one day, I'd like to get married. That could be a year, 5, 10 years from now. But I'm not going to go out and buy an engagement ring.
You're taking my words and they're true, and I'm just.
We're telling you exactly how we take it. Alright.
That's what you told us. I was repeating exactly back to you. I just said, they said one day. That doesn't mean next week. If If you were going to go next week or next month or even a year, then you would have said, well, we get ready, we have plans just like people do on a cruise. Well, next year we're going to go on a cruise. But you said one day. One day. And then you said, Brett, one day I'm going to take Brett.
Arranged a wireless air conditioner in the kitchen does not need to drill holes hanging directly on the hook kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, wherever you want to put it. Do not look.
And then you said, Brett, one day I'm going to take Brett. You see, Tracy, it's not adding up. Everything.
I completely understand. It's not adding up. I completely do. But I've told y'all everything. I told you everything.
No, Tracy, that.
Yes, I have.
No.
Okay.
Well, here's the deal. I'm going to go and let you know this now.
Okay.
How do you think that Gail died?
I don't know. All I know is what Patsy told me.
Okay. Homicide. Homicide means murder.
Technically, homicide means the killing of a human via another human. Murder is a type of homicide, like manslaughter is a type of homicide. The detective obviously knows this, but likely wants Tracy to feel the pressure of the word murder, as it carries with it malice or intent. If he thinks Tracy isn't directly responsible for Gail Spencer's murder, this may be a good way to pressure her into revealing who is.
She was murdered, Tracy. The person that you worked with every single day, okay? This 58-year-old woman that has a son that had 2 little grandbabies, okay? All right, that she loved, all right? She was murdered. She didn't commit suicide. She didn't fall into her head. She was murdered by someone. Brutally murdered. And possibly even raped. Yes, Tracy, raped. Yes, she was raped. Okay, asphyxiation, which means that she was held down, okay, and someone suffocated her to death. All right? Not pretty. Okay? I just left the autopsy. All right? This woman who's never hurt anyone in her life has done everything that she's supposed to do. She raised a child, single mother, on her own, worked hard every single day to provide a life for him. Okay? Every day. She's worked. She's 58 years old, she was. Still getting up every day and going to work. Alright? Hadn't hurt a soul, never been in trouble in her life, paid all her bills, done exactly what she was supposed to do. And then someone comes inside her house and kills her. And not only killed her, but possibly even sexually assaulted her. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel awful.
Okay. And the last person that was there
was me.
Was you.
I know.
Okay.
How do you think that makes me feel?
I didn't say that you killed her, Tracy. I didn't say that. I did not say that at all. I've never said that. But you know more, and we already know. If you hadn't figured that out by now, come on. I'm trying to give you a rope to pull yourself out of this, girl. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to give you a rope. Now, you can do one of 2 things. Either you can take it and save yourself, or you can drown with the rest of them.
I don't know anything else than what I've told you.
All right, well.
I wish I did. I wish I could sit here and tell you something that would help, but I don't.
You want to, Tracy. I can look at you.
I don't know. If I had something to tell you, I swear to God I would tell you, because I love Gail.
Everybody that knew you and Gail said that you and Gail did not get along.
And yet we didn't get along in the office sometimes, but we talked all the time.
You talked all the time?
Yeah, we would sit down in there.
Woman, you was full of SHIT, bitch.
And she would tell me things about her and her family.
You're full of shit. World class bullshitter. You're a bullshitter.
I promise I would tell you. If I knew more, I would tell you.
Liar.
You said earlier that if I spoke to Brandy, your friend that told you where this area lived at, right? Mm-hmm. That she would say that she did, didn't she? She knew your ocean. Well, let me go ahead and let you know something. I had Brandy Fulford, okay, who's now Brandy Case. Mm-hmm. down here yesterday after you left.
Okay.
And Brandy says she don't have a clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, because she don't want her husband
No.
to know.
She's not gonna get herself involved in this.
Okay.
She said right and said she don't have a clue what you're talking about. She doesn't even know Eric. Said that you guys aren't even really that close.
Oh, well, I know you're lying now because we're very
I'm
close.
lying.
Okay. Well, she lied because we're very close. We talk almost every day.
I don't know, your definition of close doesn't seem to be the same as ours.
No. We've got all your co-workers and everything else saying that Gail didn't care too much for you because
Well, Gail didn't care too much for me. I had no idea about it. Because as far as I knew, me and Gail were fine.
Dumbass. Damn it.
People ask me all the time, dude, what kind of watch is that? Carbon Ox Blaze is the best smartwatch for hard.
you know, we have fingerprints. Okay, and we house and fingerprints and stuff like that and all. Alright, so people's prints are gonna be at the house. Alright. So your prints are gonna be there.
They should be. I mean, I walked in there.
And see, generally, what I was
Like, share, subscribe if you're watching. Please like, share, subscribe if you're watching.
What's going to happen? Because generally, all the suspects, they will, usually during the interviews, they're going to admit to it because they know about these fingerprints, right? And then what's going to happen when they say Tracy was there?
Ain't nobody gonna say I was there.
They're not? You sure about that?
It sound like you're lying.
Because we've already talked to other people before we brought you down to
That's
Tracy.
fine, because they're not gonna say I was here. I was there, whatever. You know I was in the house. I told you I was in the house.
The second time.
I was not in the house the second time.
The first time you told your coworkers you never even went in the house and that you used
No, I did too tell them I went in the house because I told them I had to pee.
Why are they're adamant about it?
I don't know, because I told them I had to pee and I was about to die of thirst. I was so thirsty.
Well, they don't have any reason to lie, Tracy.
Well, undoubtedly they don't just remember or something, because I know what I said. I told them I went in the house.
They have a pretty vivid story about what you said the first time to them that morning when you got to work.
Okay. I don't know.
But I didn't eat lunch because I'm peaked in for a lot of shit today. Why would Brett need a passport?
Because we were all going to go out of town.
You're all going to go out of town. You said that before. Obviously out of the country.
Yeah.
You don't need a passport to go to Alabama.
No, but you do if you want to go to Mexico, if you want to go on a cruise. Or
How about Canada? Whoops, that was not y'all.
He one in Canada too?
Why would you get one in Canada?
What do you mean in Canada? He didn't get a passport in Canada.
Sure
I know of.
No, you know what? You're going to sit here and you just going to bullshit me all day long, aren't you?
I'm not bullshitting you.
Yes, you are.
I mean, you don't even have a trip planned according to you. And he goes and gets a passport just like that.
It was just something we decided to go up there and get a passport.
Y'all go up there together and get one?
Yeah,
What day?
Thursday.
The day you called out sick and said you're taking your mama to the
Yeah.
where
Grady. Hospital, Emory, something like that.
Emory Hospital.
You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
But what was with y'all? I know there was more than just you and Brett.
It was me, Brett, and his sister,
Here's his sister,
Courtney,
Courtney
Kelly.
Courtney Kelly. How about Shelley Kelly?
I don't know Shelley Kelly.
Did you see what? Okay.
I understand.
Now, why would you go up there and get a passport for Canada that day?
I don't know. I didn't know that he got one for Canada.
You were there?
Yeah, I was there, but I didn't. I mean, when you get a passport, I didn't realize it had where you were going.
There is no way, Tracy, that you're going to drive someone to Atlanta to get a passport and not know where they're going. Just out of curiosity, if I took this man to Atlanta, if he said to me, hey, can you take me up to Atlanta to get a passport? All right? There's going to be a conversation at some point. Where are you going?
Where are you going? What you doing?
Yeah.
Because I just told you that. We were all planning
Bitch,
on
you're
going
lying.
somewhere.
You're so lying. You lying like hell, bitch.
I mean, come on.
You haven't told
They
me.
already know you lying. Just confess, bitch.
Or we can take a
That's just a
cruise.
bunch of. That's just.
Just hang on, Dad.
Exactly. So when I go get my kids' passports, we can just get up and go if we want to. It ain't got to be no rigmarole.
Ma'am, you lying.
Where did you get the passport for? You said you did that.
Why you
I
lying?
told you a minute ago, so we could all go together. Now, where he was put, I didn't know you could get a passport and say, okay, I need a passport to go to such and such.
Trace,
What?
let me just be blunt with you. You're full of shit.
Okay.
And there's
Thank
people in
you.
this room.
Thank you. I was getting ready to say the same thing. You're full of SHIT, man. And you're a liar. And a pitiful ass liar.
No, I didn't.
Gail Sax, is that what that was?
No.
Is that what it was? That's why you didn't get dressed for work? Yeah, that's why you had to run over there and pick them up, then go back and get dressed, and then go into work.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No.
Okay. Did you take someone over there?
No, I did not. I went by myself.
Coffee, $2. Lottery ticket, $2. Slice of pizza, $2.
Myself.
They already know what happened. Shall and confess, woman.
Oh, Tracy. Who's Lisa?
I don't know Lisa.
You don't know Lisa at all. You sure about that?
I'm pretty positive. I don't know
Is
Lisa.
it positive or not?
I don't know it. That I can think of. No, I don't think I know Lisa.
Lisa Kirby? I'm South America too. Lisa Kirby?
I don't think I know Lisa Kirby.
That's South America.
Ah, come on. Work phone, work. Damn it, come on. Bear with me, y'all. Come on, phone. Okay, Wi-Fi box is working. I don't know what the hell going on. Let me fast forward through this. See if it's just them. The hell just happened? Come on, man. The hell's going on? Bear with me, y'all. Trying to get this thing to come back in. Come on. Why won't you come back in? Lord, whoa. Fuck wrong with this damn phone? Give me a minute, y'all. I'm unfortunately having difficulties. Go back here. There we go. Sorry about that.
Who's Lisa?
I don't know Lisa.
You don't know Lisa at all. You sure about that?
Well, I'm pretty positive. I don't know Lisa.
Is it positive or not?
I don't know it. That I can think of. No, I don't think I know Elisa.
Lisa Kirby.
Oh,
On top of Mary Team.
who?
Lisa Kirby.
I don't think I know Elisa Kirby.
That's South America.
She related to Brett.
I don't know him.
What's your relationship with Brett?
He's my son's friend.
Is he?
Anything else?
I know what I'm getting.
Okay, do I need an attorney? Because,
I didn't say this.
I mean, y'all are sitting here acting like I've had something to do with this, and I did not.
We're saying
Most
that
definitely did
we're
not.
saying that all these people's names have come up. All
You
right.
know.
I don't understand how.
But you know.
I don't know Lisa Kirby. I don't know Shelly Kelly. Yeah, I know some of
But
these
we'll take
other
Courtney
people.
Kelly. That's close
Yeah,
enough.
we'll take Courtney Kelly. That's all.
Brett.
Yeah, you know Brett. But all these people that you know, Tracy, that you know.
No forced entry into her house over there. Somebody didn't break in and do it to her.
I mean, I don't know how they got in. It ain't like I have a key to let them in.
No, but she knows you.
I was there for 5 minutes.
And that same day, she ends up murdered.
I know that. And I feel like shit. But I didn't have anything to do with it.
And you said they.
What are you talking about?
You said they. I never knew. Who said that there was more than one person over their house?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about they? I said I didn't have any.
Dumbass. Oh, Lord. The hell this thing being so damn difficult? Come on. Work, damn it. This piece of shit.
These shoes do something really unusual, which you've probably never seen before. Watch what happens when you...
don't know, Lisa.
Is it positive or no?
I want to try to get this right one more time. If it doesn't get right, I'm scrapping this whole damn live stream. Fuck it.
I don't know what I can think of. No, I don't think I know Elisa.
Lisa Kirby.
Oh,
On South Mary too.
who?
Lisa Kirby.
I don't think I know Elisa Kirby.
That's South America.
She related to Brett.
Oh, my God.
What's your relationship with Brad?
He's my son's friend.
Is he?
Anything else?
That's what I'm getting.
Okay, do I need an attorney? Because,
I didn't say this.
Bitch,
I
you
mean,
should
y'all
have
are sitting
been
here
on
acting
top.
like I
You
had
should have
something to do with
been
this and I
lawyered
did
up.
not.
We're saying
Dumbass.
we're saying that all these people's names have come up. All
You
right.
know.
I don't understand how.
But you know.
I don't know Lisa Kirby. I don't know Shelly Kelly. Yeah, I know some of
But
these
we'll
other
take Courtney
people.
Kelly. That's close
Yeah,
enough.
we'll take Courtney Kelly. That's fine.
Brett.
Yeah, you know Brett. But all these people that you know, Tracy, that you know.
No forced entry into her house over there. Somebody didn't break in and do it to her.
I mean, I don't know how they got in. It ain't like I have a key to let them in.
No, but she knows you.
I was there for 5 minutes.
And that same day, she ends up murdered.
I know that. And I feel like shit. But I didn't have anything to do with it.
And you said they.
What are you talking about?
You said they. I never knew. You
Dumbass.
said there was more than one person over their house.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about, they? I said I didn't have anything to do with it.
I'll talk to you further, Tracy. Can you make a phone call or something like that over here?
The two seemingly exhausted and disgruntled detectives exit the room, leaving Tracy on her own for about 10 minutes. During this time, she makes a quick call on her cell phone to someone in order to ensure her youngest son has a ride home from school. She informs the unknown caller that she might be gone for a while before telling them that she loves them and terminating the conversation. When the door to the room opens again,
Hey.
Detective Chapman, who we haven't seen before in this video, enters and immediately begins playing classic good cop while still pressing a Reed technique style of questioning. This is a good strategic move on his part, as the pressure applied by the two previous officers ended up with the first round of questioning going in circles, but this has likely been part of the plan all along. Before the previous detectives left the room, they gave the appearance that they were both exhausted with Tracy's denials and unwilling to even consider her innocence. That, coupled with the isolation of being left alone in an interrogation room while being questioned about a murder, can make a suspect feel as though the walls are closing in and no one can help them out of the pickle they're in. This is the perfect time to send in someone to play the "you're not a bad person" part in hopes it will establish rapport that causes Tracy to open up about what really happened to Gail. Adding to that, this detective Chapman actually knows Tracy Jones and grew up with her. And in case you're wondering, Scott Chapman is the exact same detective that interviewed Stephen McDaniel about the murder of Lauren Giddings.
One I want to remind you, if at any point in time that you're in here, nobody's in here, you know, to be on that door loud.
Okay.
Because we're all the way around the corner if you need to go to the bathroom or something.
Okay.
I don't know a lot about this case, okay? I only know certain aspects and so forth. It's a horrible thing. What happened. Tracy, what I want you to understand is these investigators that are in here, they work hard, they're very good at what they do. Very good at what they do. And when I heard your name, I said, hey, I'll go pick her, I'm familiar with her. Their attitude wasn't that you've done anything wrong. They felt like they'd been lied to, okay? But it was that there's a missing link there that you hold, that they already know you hold, But see, the problem is this right here. They want to believe everything you're telling them. They want to believe everything you're telling them.
I don't understand what
That's what I'm about to explain to you. Everything, they want to believe everything you're telling them, but because there's one little piece here that you're not going to tell them, makes them wonder how much of this other they can believe, okay? And nobody here is saying that you committed a crime, okay? Nobody here is saying that you knew for sure that somebody else committed a crime. It's kind of like, for instance, you know, we come up together. If you saw me walking down the road and I needed a ride, you may pick me up and give me a ride. Or if I had happened to bump into you, let's say at the bar a couple nights ago, you say, hey Scott, here's my number, call me sometime. And then all of a sudden 2 days later, I say, hey Tracy, I know I just bumped into you, blah, blah, I need a ride, can you come get me? And you come pick me up. You may not know I got $10,000 worth of dope in my pocket.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay? And you may not realize that that we're breaking the law riding down the road. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you get a phone call and you're trying to help me out. Shit, man, next thing you know, the police picking you up. What the hell? What do you mean? But if you said, hell, I didn't see Scott Chapman, they're going to be like, wait a minute. We know she saw Scott Chapman. Damn, she must have knew he had that dope. She's worried about getting in trouble. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you said, yeah, I picked this dumb ass up. Yeah, I gave him a ride. What's the problem? They'd go, she didn't know he had the dope. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no reason to lie.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that's all it is. Nobody here, you know, nobody thinks you're a horrible person. Nobody thinks you're a bad person. Nobody here thinks that truthfully, they just think you're scared. Okay? A friend of yours got killed. Okay? And the last thing you want to do is be implemented as part of that. Even if it was by accident. Because the last thing you want to have to deal with that at work. You know, hey, yeah, these fools that got me tied in something. I didn't know what was going on. And it's hard for somebody in those shoes to say that because they're worried how they're going to be judged out there. Okay? And so trust me when I tell you I feel your pain. Okay? But trust me when I tell you that little bit of pain ain't nothing. You understand? That's something you can get over in time. You understand? This is something very serious that ain't going anywhere.
Tracy just cracked multiple knuckles on her fingers. This might seem like an odd thing to do while being questioned about the murder of a coworker. While not an indication of guilt, like hugging oneself, this can often be perceived as a sign of high-level anxiety and extreme discomfort. But to be fair to Tracy, being questioned in an accusatory manner about anyone's murder would be extremely uncomfortable.
That little bullshit that you may be worried about people at work or something like that, looking at you sideways, or what people on the streets may think, okay, who cares, man? You've got to be honest with them.
That's the thing though, I am being honest. I don't understand.
Sweetheart, I want you to understand something. My heart goes out to you. I know you gotta hate this room, right?
I do.
Because it wasn't that long ago you said, you know what I'm saying? I know you gotta hate this room. You're not telling the whole truth. And alright, listen to me now. I'm real good at what I do, okay? And it's always tough in my job when I'm in a room or like this with somebody I know, okay? Because I know where your heart, I know you love them babies. You know what I'm saying? You love them babies. Everybody's always talking about how you love them babies. So there's nothing that anybody's going to say that's going to make me look at you like a horrible person. You understand?
Yeah.
People who don't know you, okay? But it's real important. We don't want people to look at you like a horrible person. If you continue not to tell the truth about everything, they don't know you like I do. They don't know that maybe you got directed down the wrong path by some bullshit, that you're not a heinous person, okay? I can tell them all day long.
Yeah.
And they love me. You know what I'm saying? And they don't want to. Well, Chapman said it straight, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, at the end of the day, when they know what they know, and you're sitting there going, what are you talking about? I'm going to go ahead and tell you. Even though I know you, and even if I didn't know you, that whole bullshit about I just happened to be in that neighborhood that morning and my car broke down and it started back up, I mean, if it was my own mother sitting there going, damn, Mom, you should have come up with some better shit than that. You know?
That really is what happened.
I understand, but I'm just saying, I said, Mom.
I mean, if I had anything to do with it, it's like I told you, if I had anything to do with that, why would I have even told
The same reason they all do.
I would never went to work and told them that.
That's the same reason they all do, sweetheart. See, that doesn't mean anything to an investigator, and I'm going to tell you why. I've never interviewed a murder suspect that didn't put himself there prior to the murder. You know why? Because they already know we're going to get their fingerprints. And if they say they weren't there at all, and we get their prints, they're done.
Yeah.
So they always say, yeah, I was there earlier that day.
I've been in our house before.
I understand, but see, we can tell by certain tests, like a fingerprint, well, that fingerprint was put there 3 months ago, or it was put there yesterday.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we can tell stuff like that.
Yeah.
Detectives don't have to tell the truth when questioning a suspect, and honestly, there's no way to tell the age of a fingerprint. And really, the only way to estimate something like that is to know exactly when the last time the surface that produced the print was cleaned. Depending upon a multitude of environmental variables, latent fingerprints can survive intact on some surfaces for decades. But leading Tracy to believe this statement may serve as a way to make her think the detectives can prove she was at the scene of the crime longer than she claims. You might think this is a dirty tactic, and under the assumption of presumed innocence, maybe it is. But trying to fish out the truth from a lying suspect is a game, and that game is all about calling bluffs and delivering them.
So, and anybody who watches CSI on TV, you know, I mean, I hate those shows. They tell everybody what we can do.
Yeah.
But they all say, yeah, I was there, but I wasn't there when that happened because they don't want to get caught in that lie.
Yeah.
So they always admit to being there. So by you saying, if those investigators come in here, if you say, well, why would I do that? Sweetheart, every one of them has always done it. They always do that. That's all part of it. But the thing about it, because I know you're not capable of doing what I know happened to this woman.
Yeah.
Okay? But there's no doubt in my mind, sweetheart.
Until now, game changer. They have a wire trimming head that's universal. It's going to fit any weed eater. They have different size leads on it. They have a 3 and a 6. I went with the 6 because I'm never changing weed eater string again. These are absolutely awesome. I don't know what took them so long to come up with these things. You're never going to have to change your weed eater string again. These are universal. They will fit absolutely any weed eater. All you do is screw them on. If you guys want to get one of these, they're on sale right now.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay? But there's no doubt in my mind, sweetheart, regardless of what you say, and that's what, you know, when they come out and they talk to me, they tell me, and I shake my own head because I said, that don't even make no sense. I don't know why she's saying it like that. And I asked them, I said, I'm going to go around there and talk to her. And this isn't my case. So I wouldn't even be in here right now if they hadn't approved it. But I said, I know her, give me an opportunity to go in there and just talk.
You know me, I take word out of it. I have to take them. I have arthritis everywhere, and I had to take them. A friend of mine stole half my orders, half of my pocketbook.
Who?
I think it was either Brandy or it was Amy, my cousin Amy. It was either one of them. I don't know which one. They both have.
So you met Amy downtown not too long ago.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. We real good about finding out everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I'm sure you are.
So
Anyway, I knew I was out. And she had done told me about this person, and
who is she?
Brandy. I don't care what she says she did.
Because you know I had Brandy sitting in that chair yesterday.
I'm sure, but she's gonna tell you she did.
It didn't take me but about 5 seconds to find her.
Yeah, she's gonna tell you she did.
Let me tell you something though.
Just like she said, we're not close.
Let me explain something to you about Brandy.
Well, about people in general, there's certain things that we do to ensure that we're being told the truth. Like for instance, if I say, did you run that marathon? No. So did you run that Conoco last week? Yeah, I run the Conoco. Now, why I mentioned Conoco, not mention the marathon? See what I'm saying? Brandy, we talked to Brandy, we got a lot of truth out of Brandy, I feel like. Okay, and I'm not going to continue every aspect of our conversation because it wouldn't be fair to those investigators.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I don't give a shit what Brandon told you. There's too many things in that just sound like bullshit.
I'm telling you. I'm only telling you this because I don't want to see you look like a monster. You can continue to tell them what you want to, but they know it's bullshit. Okay? Alright, now they may let you chill in here for 5 minutes, they may let you chill in here for 15 minutes before they come back. But trust me when I tell you, if you continue to tell that lie, and I'm not saying that you got to say Scott that ain't a lie, you ain't got to tell me nothing. I'm only telling you that if you continue to tell that lie, they already know it's a lie.
They can prove that lie. They already know it. Only reason why I'm in here right now, and I'm not going to tell you how they can prove it. The only reason why they're asking you isn't because they want to know. They just want to see how honest of a person you are. That's it. Because they already know the truth. You understand? They're just trying to figure out what side of the fence you're standing on. You understand? Because it's kind of like Shane to me. Everybody knows I love Shane Anderson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, if something ever happened and with Shane, and I was the one that interviewed him, people gonna have to wonder,
Yeah.
what came first? My loyalty to Shane or my loyalty to the job? Regardless of no matter how well I do my job, no matter how hard I work to keep my integrity intact here, there's always gonna be that people that we work around them every day. That always gonna think the worst, always wonder, Tracy, you're lying. Now you can continue to lie if you want to, but they already know it. Okay? They know you're lying. It's only a matter of time before things blow up and you go, damn, I wish I'd have told them. And the truth is, one, I won't lie. Even if I knew specific dynamics about this case, I wouldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Okay? But the truth is, I don't know. I only know bits and pieces, and the only reason why they're coming to me with it is because it's you that's sitting here and they know I know you. And they come to me, hey man, she this kind of person, she this kind of person. I'll be like, look man, she's a good mama.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She's a good mama. I say, you know, she likes to party. Shit, how many times you seen me drunk in a club? I like to party. You know what I mean? I mean, if she's guilty of that, I'm guilty of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I love my babies. I love to drink that stupid too. You know what I'm saying? I said, that's what I know about her. You know, it is what it is. And, but when they say, well, Scott, this is what she's telling us. I'm like, and I'm going, okay. And they're saying, Scott, look. And I'm going, oh shit, why would she lie about that? Because Tracy, I know you're lying. They're very good at what they do. I've seen what it is. You're lying. Yes. It's okay. I don't judge you. For whatever reason you want to lie, that's on you. Because this is the thing. It's like back in my wild days when I've always been a good daddy and always been the best husband. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women in my life and that, this and that. And I can remember being confronted. I'd have to make a choice right then. Okay? If I was going to lie, I was going to have to be willing to carry the weight of that lie. You know what I'm saying? Well, I can tell the truth, okay, and deal with what comes. That's a choice I had to make many times in my life, okay? You are making that choice right now, okay? But we're not talking about a man. We're not talking about your boyfriend or your husband thinking you're cheating. We're talking about a dead woman. You understand? There's a lot of weight there. You feel me? And my heart goes out to you because if you lie, you're going to be carrying the weight of that. Okay? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They can prove that lie all day long. And I'm just letting you know that. Don't lie to them anymore because that little bit of bullshit that you're lying about.
Students across South Carolina receive an education that fits their style at Cyber Academy of South Carolina.
Don't lie to them because that little bit of bullshit that you're lying about. I'm telling you, I know the lies that you told. I've seen it. I can look at it. I'm telling you now. And listen, if we been in this right here on this table, you look like a lie. You may be telling the truth a lot. All better than you. It's not about the kids. If you lie about the kids, guess what all this becomes in their eyes? A lie. This whole lie deal become anything you say. Just kind of like how, let's say, you drop me off somewhere. They may say, hey, Jimmy, it's not $10. Maybe they need to go down drop me off. But that would give me an opportunity to say, no, I dropped you off. Instead of blaming them.
Sorry.
Okay. Did you pick anybody up in that neighborhood?
No.
Okay. Did anybody call you in reference to looking out for something or checking on something or anything? Come on, Tracy.
No, not that I remember. What do you mean calling me?
Put yourself in Tracy's shoes for a moment. You're being questioned about the murder of a coworker. You were also the last person to see the victim alive on the day of her demise. Authorities know you were at her house on the day of the crime, to which you claim was only for a very brief visit. You're able to remember small details such as the color of the cup you drank from while at the victim's residence. But when asked whether or not you received a phone call in regard to being a lookout or checking on something while in the victim's neighborhood on the day of the murder, your response is, "Not that I remember." Does this sound like a reasonable answer by someone who's innocent and knows nothing about the crime? The detective doesn't think so either. The question presented to Tracy was specific and so far removed from vague that it simply demands a definite response. For example, if I were to ask you if you ate any meat last Tuesday, a response like, "I don't think so," or "I don't remember," would likely suffice. But if I had asked you whether or not you ate meatballs last Tuesday that were shaped like Christmas trees while sitting on a specific street, "Not that I remember," likely wouldn't be an adequate response. In fact, it would lead into my next question, which would probably be, "What do you mean you don't remember? You don't remember whether or not you sat on a specific street eating meatballs shaped like Christmas trees last Tuesday?" Recent specific details such as this are hard to forget, and that's what makes Tracy come across as deceptive.
Tracy, you're lying. You're lying. You're lying.
What am I lying about, though?
You're lying about why you were in that neighborhood.
I was really
Tracy, stop it.
fine
No,
drugs.
listen to me. Sure. Whatever. Tracy, you're lying, baby. I'm trying to tell you. It's really ridiculous why you're lying. It doesn't make any sense. Nobody here passes judgment. You know, we see the worst things down here. Okay? We're dealing with people doing all kinds of things. They locked up the old man for child molestation, right?
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, we see the worst shit. And when I see Scott, I'm like, "What's up, buddy?" You know what I'm saying? We do our job at the end of the day. Okay? It's up to a judge, jury, and the DA's office to decide people's fate. We're like secretaries. We document it all. We find probable cause, make an arrest. We do so. They decide your fate. We have no say-so in that. Okay?
The detective is telling the truth here. He's also just revealed that his department previously had a hand in locking up Tracy's father for molestation. It's unclear whether or not she was the victim in that case, but judging by the demeanor of the detective, interrogating Tracy is not a task he takes lightly.
You don't have to worry about people looking at you like you're awful. Okay? But when you lie, they think they're awful. You understand? We don't pass the... We know about Brett. Okay? We know about the relationship, man. We know about it. I don't care. It doesn't even matter to me. It doesn't. I'm sure that's probably got some embarrassment with you right now. You feel like these grown men are looking at me because I'm messing with this young boy or whatever. Who cares? Do you know how many grown men around here wish they had a 19 and 20-year-old girl? You know what I'm saying? Who gives a shit? Demi Moore opened that door for everybody. You know what I mean? So get that who cares, man.
I don't understand what my personal relationship has anything to do with any of this.
Okay.
Tracy is 38, and the person in question, Tracy's son's friend, Brett Kelly, is only 18. It's not not illegal for her to have an intimate relationship with this person. It's also no secret that Tracy is romantically involved with this young man. But the fact that she left this person out when listing off her son's friends for the other detectives earlier, coupled with the denial and avoidance of the fact that Brett is indeed her boyfriend, that does make her look highly suspicious.
Sweetheart, that investigator's pretty much told you we know all the players in this deal. Okay? You have a direct link to the victim in this crime. She works with you. You have a direct link to the suspect in this case. And you were in the neighborhood when everything went down. You can lie all day long, sweetheart. But at the end of the day, there's no point to lie. When I picked you up today, were you handcuffed? No. Okay. At any point in time, has anybody advised you you're right?
No,
So that means you're not what?
being arrested.
You're not under arrest. Okay?
Not yet, anyway.
Right now, we need a witness. We're looking for a witness. You understand? That's what we came back here to talk to, was a witness that has information that we know that you have. Now, when a witness doesn't cooperate, when we know that they know information, what do they become? A suspect.
Okay.
We talked about that fence a little while ago. What side of the fence do you want?
I mean, I want to be on the outside.
Okay, no, see, on my side is over here. Be a witness. I'm not gonna lie to you, sweetheart. You are real close to being a suspect. Don't get mad to buzz about it. Let me tell you why. Because you're lying, Tracy. Look at me. You're lying. I know you're lying. I know you're lying. I know it. They know it. They're sitting around and eating all these sandwiches and Subway, just waiting to come back in here. Just waiting to walk back in here in a minute and go, are you fucking retarded? You know, man, that's what they're gonna do. That's what they're gonna do. Wow. Boy, help me understand. You got a little boy toy who gives him, and he did something stupid. And if you know about it, you need to stop. Sweetheart, be real careful about what I know. Because I've already told you at the beginning of this conversation what. I'm not gonna tell you everything I know.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. How long has this relationship been going on with your brother?
Since like March.
Since Lord, okay. Has he been to work with you?
No. He's brought me to work before. He's brought me
You
out.
come in there and hung out?
No.
He ever met this woman that got killed?
No.
Hell no, he ain't. So if we know he committed a crime, and the only link to the victim in this case is who?
I don't understand how he could have known.
How could he not have?
Why would he?
To summarize what we're skipping through, the detective continues to press Tracy, asserting he knows her boyfriend Brett is the one responsible for the murder of Gail Spencer. He also continues to apply pressure with the narrative that Tracy was somehow involved, as he lays out hypotheticals that paint a picture of how Tracy will look in front of a jury if she comes clean, versus if she continues to lie. He then ramps up the interrogation by verbally using Brett Kelly as some kind of mental ransom. While possibly an odd move, it sends a clear message that Detective Chapman is no longer the old friend she so desperately needed to pull her out of this hole. The water she's found herself in is deep, and Tracy can't swim.
I'm going to tell you this. Protect him if you want to, but I don't want to.
I don't understand
Listen,
how
I'm
he could
going to tell you right now, those investigators that were sitting right here, they own it. They own it. They ain't your boy to a hole. That's all for Michael. And the Detective Sheriff's boy to a police home. And this ain't for any tools. You understand?
That's
Well then, that's my point. That's the point we're trying to get at, Tracy. You don't believe he did this, okay? You don't believe he did this. There's no point in lying about this right here then. You can tell the truth about this if you truly didn't know he did this.
because I am telling the truth. As far as I'm telling the truth, I went in that neighborhood to find drugs. We had been up late, drinking. There were tattoo guy was over there.
Who's the tattoo guy?
Uh,
Seth who?
Arnold.
Okay.
And
Seth Arnold and who else was there?
my son and some of my son's friends.
Let me ask you this. Was Brett there?
Yeah, he was there.
At your house that night?
Uh-huh.
What night was that?
Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
Sweetheart. You're so close to being there. It's unreal. You're so close to telling the damn truth right now. It's unreal. I'm going to ask you 1,000 questions that I already know the answers to. The only thing is at the end of the day, when I walk out here and say, that girl's a damn up mama, she loves her boys, don't matter boy, toy, or what, she's a mama first. You understand? Sweetheart, you continue to fuck out about this, and it don't matter how good of a mama you are. Your kids are going to be, you know what I'm saying? This is bad. You understand? Because people are going to look at you like you're a monster, like you're lying.
I know they are, because
Okay,
I ain't even
sweetheart, we know that while you were in that neighborhood, it may have been to keep that boy from doing something stupid because you got a wind of what was fitting to go down. It may have been for this, and the truth is, I already know. But if you don't tell it, then there's a reason why you were there that you lying about it. And it's going to get to a point, Tracy, where I'm going to say, because I can only beg you to take this weight off your shoulders so long.
But I don't understand what.
Okay.
I take him over there. He didn't ride back home with me.
So let me ask you this. When you left
I
that
went back
morning,
in,
was he still at your house?
Yes.
Okay, when you got back, was he still at your house?
Yes.
Was he with you when you went over there?
No.
Stop! Stop!
He was not. Why would he be in the car with me?
Oh my God. I'm not saying he was in the car with you, sweetheart. I'm real good at what I do. I'm not saying he's in the car with you. He could have been right in front of you or right fucking behind you.
Nobody was in front of me or behind me.
Sweetheart, we know why you were there.
Why was I there?
Why am I going to tell you everything?
I was there to freaking find drugs.
By who? Who was you going to buy drugs from?
From whoever I was.
What's his name?
Eric. That's all I know. Somebody named Eric.
Eric?
Yeah, it's the third house on the right. I could have been on the wrong road.
White boy, black boy?
He's white. She said he was white, his name's Eric, and she had bought tabs from him before.
So, you could call Brandy right now and her not knowing that I'm sitting there and say, hey, tell me about that guy there. And if that's the truth, on your phone she'll go, yeah, I told you it was the third house on the left. But if she says, what the fuck are you talking about? We're going to have a problem. Are you willing to do that?
Yeah.
Call her. Put her on speakerphone right here.
Now, it depends on who's around her, because if she's at home and her husband's around her, she's not going to say yeah.
Her husband won't know what you're asking. Just say, was it the second or third house?
It's crazy. Sorry to miss your call.
The only reason why I let you make that phone call right there was for you to put yourself in a position where you start telling the truth, because I already know the truth. I was just going to let you embarrass yourself. Not for the fate of me getting some glory out of it, but only hoping that you would say, damn, Scott, what do I do? Let me ask you a question. Do you not trust me?
Yeah, I trust you.
To
further summarize, Detective Chapman has just de-escalated the interrogation back down and retransformed himself into a person that might be able to help Tracy. Strumming chords on the heartstrings of rapport is common and highly effective in interrogations. But what makes this interrogation different is the fact that this detective has actual genuine rapport with Tracy, and that's probably the officer's most valuable asset. He continues to attempt to coast on this while affirming to Tracy that he doesn't normally get involved in cases dealing with people he knows. He wants her to think he's made a special exception just for her. This will likely lead Tracy to believe he cares about what happened to him, and this increases the chances of her divulging important information about the crime.
Yeah.
One Crime True Mini analyzes true crime cases with topics and...
Some of my son's friends.
Let me ask you this. Was Brett there?
Yeah, he was there.
At your house that night?
Uh-huh.
What night was that?
Thursday night.
Thursday night. Sweetheart, you're so close to being there. It's unreal. You're so close to telling the damn truth right now. It's unreal. I'm going to ask you 1,000 questions that I already know the answers to. The only thing is at the end of the Mama, she loves her boy. No matter boy told her what. She's a mama first. You understand? Sweetheart, you continue to put it don't matter how good of a mama you are. Your kids are going to be, you know what I'm saying? It's bad. You understand? Because people are going to look at you like you're a monster, like you're lying.
I know they are, because
Okay,
and I ain't even
sweetheart,
doing anything.
we know that while you were in that neighborhood, it may have been to keep that boy from doing something stupid because you got a wind of what was fitting to go down. It may have been for this, and the truth is, I already know. But if you don't tell it, then fuck it. There's a reason why you were there that you lying about it. And it's going to get to a point, Tracy, where I'm going to say fuck it. Because I can only beg you to take this weight off your shoulders so long.
But I don't understand what.
Okay,
I didn't take him over there. He didn't ride back home with me.
so let me ask you this. When you left that morning, was he still at your house?
Yes.
Okay, when you got back, was he still at your house?
Yes.
Was he with you when you went over there?
No.
Stop! Stop!
He was not. Why would he be in the car with me?
Oh my God. I'm not saying he was in the car with you, sweetheart. I'm real good at what I do. I'm not saying he's in the car with you. He could have been right in front of you or right fucking behind you.
Nobody was in front of me or behind me.
Sweetheart, we know why you were there.
Why was I there?
Why am I going to tell you everything?
I was there to freaking find drugs.
By who? Who was you going to buy drugs from?
Whoever I was
What's his
supposed to Eric. That's all I know. Somebody named Eric.
Eric?
Yeah, it's the third house on the right. I could have been on the wrong road.
White boy, black boy?
He's white. She said he was white, his name is Eric, and she had bought tabs from him before.
So, you can call Brandy right now, not knowing that I'm sitting there saying, hey, tell me about that guy there. And if that's the truth, on your phone, she'll go, yeah, I told you it was the third house on the left. But if she says, what the fuck are you talking about? We're going to have a problem. Are you willing to do that?
Yeah.
Call her. Put her on speakerphone right here.
Y'all know how this gonna fucking go.
Now, it depends on who's around her, because if she's at home and her husband's around her, she's not going to say
Ah,
it.
bitch, shut up.
Her husband won't know what you're asking. Just say, was it the
Funny.
just say, was it the second or third house?
It's crazy. Sorry, I missed your call. They didn't.
Yeah, this Brandy girl ain't even gonna damn answer. Why?
The only reason why I let you make that phone call right there was for you to put yourself in a position where you start telling the truth, because I already know the truth. I was just going to let you embarrass yourself. Not
And did.
of me getting some glory out of it, but only hoping that you would say, damn, Scott, what do I do? Let me ask you a question. Do you not trust me?
Yeah, I trust you.
To To further summarize, Detective Chapman has just de-escalated the interrogation back down and retransformed himself into a person that might be able to help Tracy. Strumming chords on the heartstrings of rapport is common and highly effective in interrogations. But what makes this interrogation different is the fact that this detective has actual genuine rapport with Tracy, and that's probably the officer's most valuable asset. He continues to attempt to coast on this while affirming to Tracy that he doesn't normally get involved in cases dealing with people he knows. He wants her to think he's made a special exception just for her. This will likely lead Tracy to believe he cares about what happens to her, and this increases the chances of her divulging important information about the crime. The detective continues to attempt to convince Tracy that he has evidence linking both her and her boyfriend Brett to the crime. Brett as the murderer, and her as the accomplice. He pleads with her to stop lying before leaving Tracy alone in the room for a third time, during which she seems to be doing something on her phone. Just before the detective re-enters the room, a curious voicemail can be heard playing from Tracy's phone. It's unclear who owns the agitated voice that left the message, but it sounds a lot like Brett Kelly's sister, Courtney Kelly. We'll get to that later. As Detective Chapman re-enters the room, he picks up exactly where he left off.
Alright. I ain't gonna lie. They said, what is he doing? I said, lying. That's all I said. But I told him, I said, I tried to. This is the thing. Most people do come in here a lot. One, because they're scared. Okay?
Working from the floor might just save your back. This is the Low Desk Pro by Upfield Design, the only standing desk that also goes all the way down to the floor. But why would you...
This is the thing. Most people do come in here a lot. One, because they're scared. Okay? Most of the time, they have to be embarrassed or check or realize that it is what it is before them to go. And most of the time, they start crying. I'm sorry I lied. I was just scared. I'm going to be honest. I told her. I said, I'm going to have to get that girl to a point where she realizes that she knows. And then she'll lie. She'll cry. And she'll say she's sorry. And it ain't no hard feelings at the end of the day. What is it going to take to get there?
I mean, I really, if I'm honest, I really.
Okay, so you don't think Brett had anything to do with this?
I really don't. I don't understand how he could.
So if Brett didn't have nothing to do with it, if you don't think Brett had anything to do with this.
Tracy just stated that if she's lying, she doesn't know what she's lying about. This is an odd statement to make, because there's no if you're lying when you're telling the truth. Something...
Why the fuck would she say that stupid shit? Damn, he's a dumbass one.
Something else I noticed is that she often seems to mirror the detective. As soon as he lifted his feet off the ground and placed them on the table, Tracy pulled both of hers up into her seat. This is the first time she's done that exact action in this interview, but you can find several other instances where she mirrors him in different ways throughout the interrogation. Lancaster University researchers found that mimicry has positive results in establishing connections that build rapport, and rapport building was found to be more effective than the read technique. But it's important to remember that rapport can work both ways. It's not unreasonable to consider that Tracy Jones may be attempting to use the relationship she has with Detective Chapman as a means to manipulate the situation she's in, and mimicry is an effective way to do this. Another form of mimicry includes answering questions with a question, which Tracy does consistently. Either way, the detective wants Tracy to call Brett Kelly while he's sitting in the room. It's a request she doesn't have to fulfill, and likely wouldn't if she had been asked via someone she had no previous connection or history with. This is a tug-of-war with rapport, and Tracy is at the end of her rope.
And there was no reason that he would think that you know that he had anything to do with this, right?
Yeah.
Call him.
Well, why would I want to call it? Why would I even want to?
Hang on, sweetheart. If you know he didn't have nothing to do with this, and he wouldn't have any reason to think that you would, then he'll answer the phone for you. We both know, one, you're not going to want to call him. Two, we both know if you do call him, he's not going to answer the phone. And then you know, without a doubt, you can't lie to me anymore.
He don't always answer.
Okay, well, call him. Let's try it.
Why, though?
Put the phone down. Let's call him.
Shut up and call him, bitch.
I just want to get you to that place, sweetheart.
I don't understand what I'm lying about.
Hang on. Call him. And just just so I can show that you're being honest and you're not doing things sneaky, you mind if I look at your phone while you do it?
No, okay. I gotta find that number.
Did you just delete his number before I looked over?
It's in here.
Alright, go to your recent calls.
I don't have any. I
Why?
was trying to get my son to ride home.
Baby, you
Bullshit.
deleted all your recent calls before you walked in here.
I always
Hang on.
delete my phone.
Baby, no girl does that.
Look at my messages. I even delete my messages. The only messages I
Hell
delete
yeah,
are
you
ones I
did.
will.
You know why, Tracy? Because you're lying.
No, I'm not.
Tracy,
There
you're
you are.
lying. You are lying.
You're
No,
fucking
You think
lying.
I'm sitting here lying and I had something to do with that?
Tracy, I think that you're scared that he may have, and you don't want to be the one to say it. Tracy, you've deleted everything,
And
baby.
I did delete everything, and I didn't really mean to, but I always delete.
How did you accidentally delete everything?
Let me show you how.
I accidentally delete one thing.
No, Raj, let me show you. You hit edit and clear, and I accidentally hit clear all, and I did not mean to.
Okay, well then go to your messages, if you don't mind. Because I want to see if you accidentally deleted all of them.
No, I didn't. I delete my messages after most of my conversations. I don't with my son, and I just texted her earlier because I got to talk to her about a file at work, and I don't my daddy's. And I didn't this one just so in case I needed it.
Okay, so you've been seeing this man since March, right? When was the last time you talked to him?
Earlier today.
Earlier today. Okay, where was he at?
I didn't ask him where he was at.
When was the last time you saw him?
Yesterday.
You saw him yesterday. Where were y'all at when y'all saw each other?
At the apartment.
At whose apartment?
Mom.
Tracy, please stop lying to me. Stop. Hang on. I need you to stop lying to me, okay? Because in a minute, I'm going to start looking at you like you're a monster.
Note the position of everything in the room at this point. If this were a game of chess, Tracy would be in checkmate. Detective Chapman has her backed into a corner between the wall and the table. He's created a barrier between himself and the door at an angle that leaves Tracy uncomfortably exposed and completely vulnerable as he sits almost toe-to-toe with her. Her arms are crossed, and she's likely in a defensive state of peak anxiety. Chapman is being about as confrontational as he can right now. He knows he's onto something that may be key in the investigation, but at this point, it's make or break, and he must not de-escalate.
Okay? Come on, baby. That's ridiculous.
Top 4 reasons why I got the Pro Colored F13 DTF printer. Number 1, on-demand printing.
Okay? Come on, baby. That's ridiculous. You've erased everything out of your phone?
I did.
Stop, Tracy. It don't matter how many times you smile.
I didn't
Okay,
mean
listen
to
to me.
erase them.
You're a pretty girl. You ain't got to do that cute little grin or
I'm
whatever.
not doing that.
Okay.
That smile is something I accidentally do when I get nervous or I'm upset or
Listen to
anything.
me. Look at me. You know more than ever now I'm going to be looking at you like a monster. When you're deleting all that shit out of your phone, don't tell me it was an accident. You're lying out your ass.
Okay. I guess I'm just lying about everything.
Okay, you're deleting all that out of your phone. Okay? I asked you to call Brady at the drop of a dime. I asked you to call him. Why would I do that? I just told you the man's a suspect in a murder investigation.
And I
Hang on, unless you're a part of it. No, what you said, why do I want to bring him into all this? Sweetheart,
I don't think he's in it.
Sweetheart, you didn't bring him into this. I brought him into this when I told you. Had you said his name or did I say his name?
You did.
Okay, so you didn't bring him into nothing. So you shouldn't have any say I said call it yourself. Shit, my man ain't done nothing. Let's call him.
We'll call him.
Call him.
I gotta find his number.
That's real funny, baby. That you can't find his number. And I saw you clicking on some buttons before I asked you if I look.
This chick
What's
is
his
such
last
a
name? You gonna be under his
bullshitter.
first name or his last name?
So there it is, right there.
Alright, let's call him. Put it right there. Put it down there where I can get it flat on the thing.
Hello?
Brett?
Hello? Yeah?
Hey,
Hi.
what you doing?
Nothing to you.
It's Tracy.
Hi.
Hey. You want me to say anything else?
Brett,
Yes, it is.
this is Scott. How are you, bud? Just to make sure I'm talking to the right Brett that I think I'm talking to, what's your last name, Brett?
Kelly?
Brett Kelly. Okay. Alright. Brett, you in Macon?
Yes, sir.
Where you at, Macon?
Am I in Macon or do I live in Macon?
Are you in Macon?
No, sir.
Where you at, buddy?
Warren Robbins?
Warren Robbins? Where you at in Warren Robbins?
Steak and Shake?
Steak and Shake. That's some good stuff, man.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Your girl, Tracy here has been honest with me, okay? Alright? I want to see if you're as honest as she has. In the last hour, how many times has she text messaged you?
In the last hour?
Yeah.
Probably 5.
5 times. Okay. Alright.
The detective telling Brett that Tracy has been honest with him is one of the smoothest moves in the entire interrogation. Tracy is helpless. There's little she can say to warn Brett that won't lead to further suspicion. Right now, she resembles a wounded gazelle unable to escape the inevitable, while lying trapped in between the claws of a hungry lion. It's as if she's watching the ship she's on sink, and Tracy can't swim.
Cool. Let me ask you a question, Brett. You gonna come see me?
I can.
You know who I am, right?
No, sir.
Well, you know what I am, right?
No, sir. I don't know your name.
No, I'm saying if she's text messaged you in the last hour, you know she's down here talking to the police. I seen the messages. She thought she was going to delete them, but I got to them a little faster than she could. So you know she's talking to the police, and I already know you know that.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you gonna come see me?
Yes, sir.
All right. You gonna come? Where you gonna? You gonna come down here to City Hall?
Where do you want me to come to?
All right. Come to the Detective Bureau, Brett.
Yes, sir.
It's located at the corner of First and Popular. All right.
Yes, sir.
Whether you show up or not is gonna tell me wonders, man.
Okay. Well, I'm leaving that now.
How long is it gonna take you to get here, my friend?
About 35 minutes.
35 minutes. All right. Listen, now we're gonna. Me and Tracy, we're gonna hang out until you get here, okay?
That's fine.
You're a good man. I appreciate you, brother.
All right, that's all.
All right, bye.
It can't be overstated how well the detective just navigated through the conversation you just heard. It's apparent via Tracy's posture that she's almost given up as her boyfriend makes his way down to the police station to be interviewed.
I normally come in here and I use interview tactics and stuff like that to get people to tell the truth. I never expect to get on this road with you. I'm a little surprised.
Arranged a wireless air conditioner in the kitchen does not need to drill holes hanging directly on the hook kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, wherever.
Get on this road with you. I'm a little surprised. I'm just being honest. Okay? We know each other coming. I know we weren't the best of friends, but I felt like we walked on the same side of the road for a long time. And you ought to know how I live my life and know I don't judge everybody. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
But you've lied to me so many times in here, baby. Listen to yourself. You've lied to me so many times. It's crazy, baby. I know you deleted your stuff. You would delete them every time you text. Stop.
You don't want to know when I deleted it on the way here, and I did not mean to.
Sweetheart, you were text messaging that man from right here.
No, I was not texting him. I was texting my son.
Hold up. Baby, you've been here way over an hour. Hang on.
Yep.
Sweetheart, in just a few minutes, I'm going to tell you everybody you text message.
Okay.
Don't you know we work homicide?
I'm sure.
Okay. How quickly do you think I'm going to have your phone records?
Sure, pretty quick.
Bam! Got them. Okay? So don't tell those lies when I can prove them that fast. I know you've been text messaging him from right here, and in a minute I'm going to prove it. Okay? All right? You've lied. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And guess what? Your man ain't going to show up. Okay? He ain't coming. Hell no, he ain't coming. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Do me a favor. You can lie to me all you want to. Okay? When you've decided that your shoulders can carry the weight of that, it can't. You're gonna clap. I've seen that too many times. My shoulders can't carry the weight of it. You're gonna fall. Okay? Do me a favor. I'm gonna walk out of here, and I'm gonna go down the hall and talk with these other investigators. Because now we have Brett coming down here. I need to let him know that.
Okay.
Will you do me a favor? If I ask you to do me a favor, will you do it, and can I trust you to do it? Will you put your phone on that side of the table and not touch it while I'm gone?
But look, it's 2:30. My son's getting out of
I already saw in your message where you worked that out, getting him a ride.
Yeah, she just texted. She said he's
Okay,
right.
so will you set your phone on the other side of that table for me? Just so I can know that I can trust you to where you won't try to interfere with him coming down here. Start chatting. Will you sit that down there? I'm gonna put it right here.
Can I smoke?
You want me to bring you a cigarette?
I got a cigarette.
Girl, you can smoke.
I can smoke in here?
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel bad about lying to me? I just want to know, do you feel bad?
Yes or no question.
I mean, I don't know how I can feel bad when I really don't know what I'm
Sweetheart,
lying about.
you have lied over and over and over again, and you already know. Do I look like I'm stupid? Just like when you told the lie, I accidentally deleted all that shit. You knew I wasn't gonna believe it. You already knew that. But I had to prove it. You know, I ain't gonna believe it. But I'm just asking, do you feel bad about lying to me? Yes.
Because I have
You
not lied.
feel
I
horrible.
really did not mean to delete that on the way here.
Sweetheart, let me tell you something.
Why do y'all always automatically assume that somebody's always fucking lying? I am not sitting here lying about that fucking phone. I am not lying about it, and I'm tired. I'm tired of all this shit.
Look at you, Tracy. I know it's hard for you, and that's why you're crying right now.
Because I'm tired of it.
I
You have
believe it.
no idea the stress
You know, that man has drug you into so much bullshit right now. It is crazy. And you're willing to sit here and carry the weight of that shit? Really? Hell no. That's retarded. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's no point in you lying from this point further. After when I walk out of here, unless you knew everything that was going down before it went down, there's no reason to lie at any point. Because you see, it don't take me about 5 seconds to make you feel retarded. You ain't never got to tell me the truth. I can make you sit in your own seat and feel retarded without ever being honest. You done felt retarded sitting here about 3 or 4 times. I know it. I'm real good at what I do, okay? And you have felt retarded and you knew in your mind, that's on his note, I'm lying here, but God, I'm gonna keep telling this lie. Why?
Shit, everything you're saying is the truth.
Unless you had something to do. I'm gonna be honest with you. You gotta decide what's in the ground here. Are you coming over this fence or what? You're lying. I can prove you're lying. I tell you what, I'm not gonna prove you're lying. I've already told you this is their case. I'm only here to help you tell the truth. That's it. That's the only reason why I'm in here right now. I got 14 other cases on my desk that ain't got a damn thing to do with you. Only reason why I'm in here right now is because I know you. That's it. Let me ask you this right here.
Okay.
Is your boyfriend coming?
Hell no.
Hell no, he ain't coming, and you know
Exactly. That motherfucker ain't coming.
Right now.
You dumb
That's the thing.
bitch.
See that? How bad you want to get that? I'll tell you what it is.
Is it like it's freezing cold? I'm loving it.
See that? How bad you want to get that? I'll tell you what it is. It is Katie Register. It says Scott's phone must be dead. Okay? If you want, when it rings, since you're being honest with me, since you're allowing me to let it sit there, when that does it, do you want me to tell you who's calling and stuff?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I'll tell you who's calling and stuff. You know he's not coming. Just like when you said, I don't know if he's coming. Hell no, you know he ain't coming. He'd have to be a damn idiot to come down here. And you know that. But you know you gotta say the right thing. I don't know if he's coming. But
I don't know why he wouldn't come, because I don't understand how he would have done any of this.
Still lying.
it's sad. You're right. I can't understand how he did it either. Has anybody ever showed you the pictures of this lady?
No, I don't want to see him. Please don't show him to me.
Has anybody ever showed you? Because you know what? When I see it, I don't even know this woman.
I don't want to see him. Please.
And let me tell you something. You know this woman. And I got a feeling you're going to look at those pictures today. Okay? Because you're fucking lying, Tracy. You're fucking lying. And it's horrible what happened to
say you're sick of it all you want. I'm not gonna change who I am just because we're friends. Okay? I already know that's a lie. And I'm not gonna say, oh, Tracy, I believe you, where I fucking don't. Okay? Let me tell you who it is. It says Katie Rich, Scott's phone must be dead. It's just doing that same thing. Yeah. Do that over and over again. I'll do this for you. For some reason you want to carry this weight up here. Here in a little bit, you're not going to carry that weight anymore. Okay? I don't know you like the best of friends, but I think I know you well enough to know you're not a monster and you're not going to be able to hold that weight much longer. And it's going to be a matter of time while you're down here today that you're going to go, I already know it. You're going to say, all right, I want to say, and if you feel better with me being in here, you can say, look, okay, you know, it is what it is. I can tell you this. The detective that sat right here, Detective Shirley, he's one of the best guys in the world. Okay? He's one of the best guys in the world. His supervisor, Sergeant Carmichael, I mean, they're like family. Nobody here is wanting to throw rocks at you, Tracy. But they are starting to wonder what the fuck. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm not going to lie about it. When I walk out of here, they said, does she know? I'm going to say, fuck yes, she knows. She's lied 50 times over. I already know it. If a 5-year-old kid was sitting here watching this shit on TV, they know you're lying. How many times you caught your old man lying to you?
10 times.
Did you ever need him to tell the truth in order to know he was lying? Fuck no, because you knew when he was lying. I know you're lying. You've lied to me so many times a year today.
Scott, I have not lied. I did not lie to you about my phone. I accidentally, and I do always delete my
But
messages.
you still lying.
I understand.
Man, I swear.
It's okay.
Still lying.
Look at me right there. I'm not mad at you. I told you I don't judge you. You can lie to me all you want. At the end of the day, you're grown and you're going to decide if you can carry the weight of this. I'm going to be honest with you. It don't matter how long I've known you. If I'm going to carry the weight of something on my shoulder and be like, look, Tracy, it is what it is. You just got to let me hold this weight. I won't lie to you. You know, don't hate me. I ain't going to hate you. But you're lying. And them shoulders going to get heavy. There's no way around it. Drink that water, girl.
I'm going to.
Look, I'm going to go tell him what's up. Can I trust that you're not going to pick up that phone?
What do you want me to do with that?
Just spit in that trash can and put it out. So here, pour a little water in there. Here, wait a minute.
I pour it over it.
Use that as an ashtray. I ain't got no cookies.
When Detective Chapman returns with Detective Shirley, Brett is called once again via Tracy's phone to verify how far he is from the police station. He's kept on the call with police virtually the entire time he makes his travels. Once he arrives, Tracy Jones' first interview is concluded and Brett Kelly's begins. But while Brett is prepared for his interrogation, Tracy makes a rather unusual request.
You're still texting me, ain't you?
Thought y'all had him.
Who you texting me?
I didn't text nobody. I swear to God.
What was you doing?
Lying
I was
ass.
looking at my Facebook. Pizza.
You sure can. I thought I was going to have some more pepperoni or spring.
Oh, it's pepperoni.
Hey,
Hey.
I know you got to be hungry because we're starving to death. Here you go.
Tracy might be guilty. Tracy might do time.
What the hell?
But she don't even
Really?
care if her boyfriend's on the line. You can see through her
Who the hell came up with
but
this?
she's got pepperoni supreme. She may not be no good.
They ain't worth a damn
She
for
may
this
not
one.
be no nice. But can't nobody tell her she can't have a slice. Cause she's hungry, probably bloodthirsty for money.
Obviously, there's nothing funny about the murder of Gail Spencer. And while the song you just heard is humorous, the comedy in it is not intended to target the victim in this case, but rather highlight the absurdity of a suspect having the gall to ask for pizza while simultaneously being questioned about their involvement in a homicide, especially when so many surfacing details paint the suspect as guilty of the crime in some way. Moments after Tracy leaves the room, 10-year-old Brett Kelly is led into the same interrogation room and even offered the last piece of pizza in the box on the table.
I've seen that chair that was right over there. Yes, sir. Are you hungry? Charles, I say you have a last piece of pizza. Thank you, though. All right. I'll be right back, okay?
One has to wonder if this was the detective's sense of irony. Nevertheless, after Brett waits alone in the room for a few minutes, Detective Shirley enters and the interview begins.
Where do you have your drawing box? Oh, it's not on me. Where's that? Honestly, it might be in one of my paintings. I rarely keep under that thing. You drove up here without driver's license? Well, now I'm breaking the law. I got license up, so don't write me for that. Okay. So, yeah. You came down here on your own free will and everything. Okay, I appreciate you doing that. Can I ask, was I on the phone with you? No. Why is that? Why you ask? Well, I was on the phone with some detective. Yeah, that's Detective Chapman. Do you have any idea why you're down here? No, sir. None whatsoever? None whatsoever. Okay.
Really?
Let me just get some basic
You
information.
As the
honestly don't
detective
know?
formally takes Brett's details, he also uses the time to gather other pieces of general information about his suspect, including Brett's current living arrangements. Brett had been working at a Nissan dealership in Warner Robins as an oil technician until just over a week before this interview. And for the past 5 months, he's been living in Macon at an apartment complex called Rutland Corners. This residence belongs to Tracy Jones. Brett described her sons as being his best friends, who he claims are like his brothers. He also stated that he's been visiting the apartment since he was around 14 years old. He makes no mention of the fact that he's in a relationship with Tracy at this point.
Well, I'm going to ask you some questions about some stuff, okay? Yes, sir. Thursday. Okay. Take me through your day Thursday. Thursday. Saturday job, literally I stay at that house. Don't do nothing. Me and Scott and Dom go to school. We play Xbox. Or just sit there and chill. And that's honestly we know life it pretty much. And then when I'm not doing something, I'll try to find a job or see who's hiring. Well, I don't mean what you're doing, sir. I mean, what did you do this? You know what? I'm talking about. Let's see, Thursday would have been October 4th. At the house, playing video game all day. We did all day. Where'd you go that night? Nowhere. So you were based at the house from all day. Did you sleep there on Thursday or Wednesday night? All day. All right. If I tell you, I smoke weed. I don't care. How many other cops you know dress as good? All right. Well, so I'm saying.
When the interview started, Brett acknowledged that he knew he was breaking the law by driving to the police station without having his driver's license on him. He stated, "Don't write me a ticket for that." Now Brett has divulged the fact that he smokes weed in a similar manner. One might assume this is just the typical thinking of an ignorant 18-year-old kid that's unaware of why he's being questioned. But let's look at the bigger picture here. In the last couple of days, there's been a murder in the town he lives in. The victim is connected to his girlfriend. He knows his girlfriend was just interviewed by detectives in relation to that murder, and now he's being questioned regarding his whereabouts on the exact day of the crime. Blazing up and leaving his driver's license at home are the least of his concerns. It's quite obvious that Brett is playing dumb, but it's a little too obvious, and Brett is playing a little too dumb. An innocent person in this situation wouldn't just be going with the flow. They would likely want to know immediately why they're being interrogated.
I don't care. I was kidding. That's what I did. I just stayed there all day, smoked, and that's it. And just stayed there and sleep. That's all I did Thursday. Friday, that's all I did. I didn't even go to the club. I used to go to the club all the time. But I didn't go to the club Friday. Stayed there, played video games, chilled with all my friends because all of our friends come over. So that's all I did. Okay. So all day Thursday, and Thursday night, didn't go anywhere. Stayed right there at the house smoking weed. Well, not at the house. There's not weed at the house. Where'd you go? Run outside. I mean, right outside.
Right out, just in an apartment complex with somebody.
All right, so let me make it more clear. So you did not leave the apartment complex.
No, I was outside because you can't smoke inside.
You can't?
No.
Now, who all was there at the apartment with you?
Basics, Nick. I can give you last name if you want him.
Nick who?
Nick Freeman.
Nick Freeman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hunter Pruitt.
Hunter Pruitt?
And that's it.
And that's it?
That's just
We almost said Scott. Scott there? Scott, yeah. Scott was there?
Daniel is her son.
Right. Scott Daniel?
And Dom.
And Dominic?
Yeah, Dominic. Don't ask for that.
That's okay.
Well, honestly, that's who's there all the time.
That's who was there Thursday, though. I don't care about who was there all the time.
That's who's there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your life's your life. But,
when it matters most, George C. Gentry Lawyers delivers results.
I was rear-ended by a drunk driver. They got me $1.5 million. Go with the name you know and trust.
On the line, call 999-9999.
Not a lot of people know about this brand, but it's one that I and a ton of other college and pro level athletes swear by. It's called Drip Drop. It's for hydration, and watermelon's my favorite flavor. More than 90% of pro and college teams across all sports use this. I learned about Drip Drop because a sports nutritionist told me about it and how a doctor created it. It has 3 times the electrolytes of a sports drink, plus vitamins and less sugar, so I don't crash later. This is the stuff you use when you really need it to work.
But, now, so we got that taken out of the way, right? Thursday didn't go nowhere. Swear on your mother's eyes.
I swear on my mother's grave. Eyes hard.
Okay. Now, Friday. Take me through Friday morning, all the way up through to Friday night.
Friday morning, woke up around like 11:30 or 10 or something. Ate something. I did the same thing.
11:30 or 10, you woke up and did the same thing? Okay.
The second detective that just entered the room does so for a very specific purpose: disruption. The clanging of the chair, dragging it, slamming it down, and even his lack of formal introduction are all intentional. The idea here is to shatter the suspect's sense of security and eliminate any comfort he may have settled into. If the officers didn't already feel pretty certain that Brett is guilty, they likely wouldn't be using such an aggressive strategy this early in his interview.
Who was there at the hospital you did?
That is me and Scott then.
Just you and Scott?
Because his got school in Hunter. He usually does what he don't come over every day until later the days and stuff. But that's all who was there. And Don at school.
Where was Tracy at Friday?
She works.
What time did she leave the house?
Usually when I went to work, she'd always wait.
No. I'm talking about this Friday.
It's gonna help me remember.
Okay.
Like usually when I go to work, she'd wake me up around like 7:30, 7 o'clock. She takes her son to school, and then her son's got to be to school, I believe, before 7:45, and after that she usually goes straight to work or something. But between, I honestly don't know. I really don't keep up. But from when she used to wake me up, probably around like 7:30, 7 o'clock or something.
But what about this past Friday?
She's on a routine. Usually that's honestly when she leaves.
Okay. All right. But you didn't leave the house all day Friday?
I didn't.
Friday night?
No.
Okay.
Stayed home, play video games, and just chill.
Okay.
I ain't got no car or anything.
You know? All right. Outside of these guys, who else do you know? Do you know a guy named Dustin? Dustin Taylor?
Well, I know him, but yeah.
All right. Well, let me put it to you this way, okay? When I said, Brett, do you know him? And you said, Okay. And I said, Dustin Taylor. And you said, I know him.
Well, I work with Dustin.
Right. Dustin Taylor?
No, you don't work with Dustin.
All right. Did you know Dustin Taylor?
Yeah, I do know Dustin.
You do know Dustin Taylor. When was the last time you seen Dustin Taylor?
About two and a half weeks ago.
Two and a half weeks ago? What happened then?
Went to Steak and Shake.
You went to Steak and Shake? You live over there at Steak and Shake, don't you?
I eat there a lot.
Yeah.
That's all we did was chill at Steak and Shake.
Okay.
Told me to get my hair cut.
He He did?
Yes, sir.
So when I talk to Dustin, he's going to verify that, right?
I'd drop my bike off my house, show me to get his haircut, my haircut, and then he took me home.
You said that was 2 weeks ago?
Right there 2 weeks ago, right there 2 weeks ago, a week and a half. But I'd say that.
That's a nasty little scratch you got right there on your cheek, buddy.
If you ask me, it's a bold move for the detective to put his hands on Brett, especially directly on a portion of Brett's skin where he spots damage that he suspects may be evidence related to the crime. I feel like this could have been handled better without the physical contact. As you already know, Scott Chapman, the detective that spoke to Brett on Tracy's phone, is the same officer that interrogated Stephen McDaniel in that very same room about the murder of Lauren Giddings. And as you may remember, he too was quite handsy with the suspect.
Tell me, bud.
I didn't do it.
Yes, you did, Stephen. Your hands with the body. Quit lying. We want you to tell it so that way people will understand you're not a monster. Things just, you got out of control.
I'm by no means insinuating that these detectives battered Stephen and Brett, but touching a suspect during an interrogation is a risky move that a defending attorney may argue is a mild assault that placed his client under duress. If duress in an interrogation can be proven in court, a confession may be rendered void.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
You know how you got scratched?
Welcome to the future of creating. Gear that enhances your content.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
How you got scratched?
Is it this big long one?
Yeah.
Well, that was me and a dude named Lemmy wrestling that work when I worked at 5 Star.
How long ago was that?
About two weeks ago.
Okay.
The big pink one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dude named Lemmy scratching.
Oh, he did? All right. You said you left the dealership when?
About 2 weeks ago.
About 2 weeks ago. 2 or 3 weeks ago. Okay. All right. Your relationship with Tracy. How was that relationship?
Pretty good.
What you mean? I mean, are you guys in a relationship?
A lot of people ask me that now.
Why would Tracy say y'all have? It's okay. I mean, you're okay. You're not gonna listen. I know that, little man. I know that. All right. You don't want your best friend to know that you're banging her mom. That is, your best friend's mom, all right?
Well, no, it's not that I don't want no one to know we're in a relationship. I just try to keep the word relationship out of it because I don't like that. I don't like having a girlfriend.
All right, so you're just having sex with her.
You can call it.
Okay. Were you right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because she said that. Tracy's been out here today, all day today. Tracy said a lot of things. There's a lot of things that I know.
Okay.
All right. Now, before I go any further, everything that I've just talked to you about and spoke to you about, you're telling the truth on.
Swear on my mother.
You swear on your mother.
So I put my hand on the Bible.
We're almost 15 minutes into this interview and there's been no mention of Gil Spencer's murder from either side of the table. Brett Kelly not only swears he's telling the truth, but he just swore on his mother and offered to do so on a Bible as well. He clearly believes this makes him look innocent, but he hasn't even been accused or questioned about the crime yet. The crime hasn't even been brought up in the conversation. This makes Brett's willingness to swear seem unnecessarily desperate. After all, what's he so desperate about? There's no way that Brett doesn't know that his girlfriend's coworker, Gail, was murdered. He also knows his girlfriend was just in that very same room being questioned. At what point in this interview, as an innocent person, would you have raised concern for yourself? For example, fairly early on, you'd likely come out with a question like, am I being accused of a crime here? Or, wait a minute, you guys don't think I killed that lady Tracy works with, do you? Questions like these would be understandable given the circumstance, and only afterwards would swearing you had nothing to do with the crime make a lot more sense. But Brett is completely avoiding the elephant in the room, and that's odd, to say the least.
That's bad.
Well, that's my honest opinion. I'm going to stick to that.
Okay.
Till the end.
All right, well, let me show you something. Turn the car on. You don't mind staying here for a minute, do you? Okay. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, Grant. All right.
The two were left in the interrogation room for a few minutes, during which time the only words uttered come from Brett as he applies saliva to his fresh arm tattoo while stating, I'm just keeping it moist. When the other detective returns, the pressure in the interview is significantly ramped up as Brett's alibi, the one he just swore over his mother on, is completely picked apart.
Oh, goodness. Where was Tracy at Thursday? Did she go to work or was she at home with y'all? She did go to work Thursday? Okay. Now, what I wanted to show you here, kiddo, is you stayed at home Thursday, right? All day Thursday. What is that right there?
passport?
A passport. Where does that say where it's stamped at? October the 4th, 2012. Okay. You couldn't have got your passport and it's stamped on October the 4th, 2012 if you were at Rutland Corners all day Thursday and all night Thursday.
Okay.
You're lying, Brett.
I'm sticking to my story. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
What story?
What story are you sticking to?
The one I just told you that all the information you got right on the piece of paper.
But I've got it right here, buddy.
After a few more moments of investigative fishing, the detectives finally put it straight to Brett and asked him about the murder of Gail Spencer.
How much money do you have in your account?
Zero.
You don't have any money in your account?
Zero.
Okay. You don't have none? You sure about that?
If I got something, you're gonna assume tell me. Watch the first 48 all the time.
I'll bet.
You're gonna tell me everything.
You know that I'm gonna tell you everything.
Yes, that's how cops do it. I'm not stupid.
I'm not telling you nothing.
Alright, well.
Alright. I'm giving you a chance to tell me about what happened over there. But you just don't want to play devil. I'm giving you a chance to tell me about what happened over at Cecilville Road with the elderly woman. That guy. Okay? Okay? Sir, you want to go and tell me about it? No?
I don't know anything. I'm looking you dead in your eyes. I don't care what y'all say if I want to go down looking like a monster.
Fingerprints.
Do you have F and ink on your shelves? Do you need a mixing system? Well, F and ink is now officially a mixing system, matching PMS color.
I'm looking you dead in your eyes. I don't care what y'all say if I want to go down looking like a monster.
Fingerprints. You got fibers. Everything. Okay? Alright, I just left the autopsy today. Okay. I can see it. Look, Brett.
Brett, how many cops say that they can see in my eyes? Just because I got a weird look in my eye don't mean I...
Your heart dropped when I brought it up, son. I know you're lying, and I know you were there.
Now, you got the evidence?
Yes, we've got evidence.
Unless I see it, then that's it.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Unless I see my fingerprint put on something, a fingerprint so-called that's mine, that was supposedly whatever you found.
So, the way you are now, and that's the way you want to stay, right? You're going to look like someone that don't give a shit. Do you not care? Look, you don't care. Tell me about what? Tell me, you don't care about the fact that this woman is 58 years old and she's dead.
I'm sorry that happened.
All right, you don't care?
I'm sorry, I did not kill the lady. I don't know anything.
Did I say you killed the lady?
You said the lady ended up dead. Why would I be here?
Did I say that you killed?
No, but I wouldn't be here if you thought something like that, and then you bring up a dead lady. I'm not done.
Maybe you were there?
Maybe I was there, maybe I did it, maybe I did not. I don't know. But I'm sure you're going to tell me, because cops are going to get whatever they want.
Okay.
What happened?
I appreciate you having that much faith in us now, Brett. I appreciate
I do. Okay. But it's a lot of wrong people.
So I think that you know something.
No, I don't know nothing.
What did you just sit right here and say, Brett? You just sat right here and you said in front of this man, maybe I did kill her, maybe I didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe I was there, maybe I wasn't.
Yeah, but there's a lot of maybes.
Now, don't say that, though.
Well, was I? That's the question, but was I there?
You can answer that question.
No. If y'all say y'all got evidence.
Are you saying you were not there?
No, I was not there at that house.
You were not there at that house?
No.
Even though we can put you there?
Even if you can put me there, I don't care what y'all do to put me there unless y'all got a time machine.
Well, he's a tough guy, man. Yeah. Were you that tough with the lady? Do you know what her name was? Do you know what her name was? Look at me, Brett. Do you know what her name was? Her name was Gail Spencer. She was 58 years old. She had 2 grandbabies. Small. She had a son that loved her. She had a sister that loved her. Okay? And she loved her job, and she had neighbors that loved her. Okay? Her name was Gail.
Okay? My name's Brett. And I didn't have anything to do involved with myself with that lady.
You were there. I know you were.
I bet everybody that you got here supposedly.
Did she scratch you, Brett?
No,
She scratched you, didn't she?
No. Alright, if she scratched me, as smart as I am, you can pull supposedly the DNA off of her fingernails of my skin if she did supposedly scratch me.
Yeah.
Let me guess, you got it.
Oh, we can't. Don't worry about that.
Oh, you can get it, because I
I got like 100 people that says they seen the blood come off my face of this big pink scratch at my work of me wrestling somebody. So you can do whatever you want with that.
And what'd you say the guy's name was?
Lemmy.
Lemmy? You got his phone number?
I don't have his phone number.
Okay.
Brett sticks to his story as the detectives continue to press about the alleged wrestling match and the origins of the scratch on Brett's face for a few more minutes before recentering the questioning around what they claim Tracy Jones told them.
Tracy's already been told us.
What's she said?
I'm not telling you that.
Then why are you gonna tell me that and not even tell me?
Well,
That's like blue balls.
this isn't a game, Brett.
I know it's not
This is
even
real life.
Yeah, it's real life.
Now look, I don't know if it was an accident or not, but I need you to tell me if it was. Maybe he didn't mean for the lady to die, and she did.
If you think she scratched my face, why do you think it'd be an accident? If you think the old lady scratched my face.
It's clear what the detective means by accident. They're insinuating that even though they believe Brett is culpable in the murder of Gail Spencer, her death may not have been intended. This move has the Reed technique written all over it. They're trying to lead Brett into admitting some form of responsibility for the crime without admitting to malice. And as we know, malice simply means intended. Crimes convicted without malice can equate to lesser sentences. In reality, any admission of Brett's involvement in this crime is a huge step forward for detectives because the evidence is likely already shown whether or not the murder was intended. But Brett is sticking to his guns.
Imagine this. You wake up one morning and your toenail is falling off. The doctor says that the infection has taken over. What do? It didn't have to get this bad.
You said it maybe be an accident or something.
Maybe it was an accident.
Alright. You can tell me how I'm gonna find the case out or whatever.
Oh, there's like no emotion with you whatsoever, Brett. It's like you just can't. Is that true?
I don't know.
You don't know if you're angry or not?
I got a heart like everybody else does.
You're not showing it.
Well, it's beating.
That's not all it's doing, it's beating.
The detectives continue questioning Brett, asking if he's ever been on the road where Gail's house is. He answers no, and continues to deny any connection to the murder. After a few moments, the detectives turn the focus to Brett's sister. He has 3 sisters. Notice when they ask him what his sister's name is, he doesn't ask which one. He immediately answers with Courtney. This will be relevant later.
What's your sister's name?
Gordon. The last name Kelly also.
Only got 2 that are the last name of Kelly.
When was the last time you and her were together?
She stayed at my house. Stayed at Tracy's house, I should say that. About week up.
Last week?
Not last week.
Like Thursday?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there.
No, man, last week. That's all I know. I don't know the exact date.
And that was Courtney, right?
Courtney Nicole Kelly.
Brett goes on to claim that he doesn't have Courtney's number or know her living arrangements because she's been gone for 3 years until recently. He also claims she has a bad drug problem. A few moments later, one of the detectives turns up the heat another notch.
Let me tell you, you don't have the skill, son, to fuck with us down here. Let me just be blunt. You don't have that skill, okay? So play off that long, because we got all night, all right? I promise you that. You don't have the skill to fuck with us down here.
I don't have a job, so I'll be here.
That's right. And how about your 12 grand that you put in the bank, or was put in the bank? Guess who's got it? We do.
I know about it. I'm not telling.
I don't think it does.
I don't think you do either. You need to make a phone call.
But marijuana ain't a drug. I was doing Friday.
You got your own rich bread.
I don't know.
Okay? Look here. You want to make a phone call or something? Just shit. I don't know. I'm letting you know. I'm trying to be, if you want to make a phone call, you got to hit this, dial 8, and then dial the number to get out, all right? So hold tight. We'll be back.
Brett is left alone in the clearly cold room for nearly 30 minutes before the main detective returns and continues the questioning.
Tired?
It's cold as all get out in here.
It's like a refrigerator here, ain't it?
Place cool.
All right. Listen, Brett. So, all right. An old friend of mine called me last Friday
authorities, a scheme that involved murder, money, and fleeing the country. Brett is quickly losing his grip on the ledge he's been hanging on to. The water beneath him is so far away that it will barely cushion his fall, and, as you may have already guessed, Brett can't swim.
Which thing?
Huh?
Which thing?
Where you get that?
Where?
Got to.
Or no, what'd you say? When did I get that?
We didn't where?
I got that today.
Okay.
Well, how's the insurance for? Who do you think they talked to?
What does?
Yeah, I mean, guess who he named, bro?
You named me?
Yeah, he did.
Well, I still ain't saying ain't nothing. Like before you left, I changed out of my mind.
You changed your
I
mind.
said nothing changed.
So you gonna do all that? Did you kill the lady over on Sixville Road?
No, I did not.
Were you there?
No, I was not.
When you were over there with Tracy, did you ride? Were you in the car with Tracy?
No, I was not.
Okay. You know what they're saying about you out there, Brett? All them out there, they're saying he's a psychopath. Are you a psychopath?
No.
That's what they're saying. They're saying you're a sociopath.
Okay.
They're saying that you went in there, you killed that woman. Are you there?
Here's to the drink before you drink. Morning recovery.
The touching base, moving the needle, and crush.
Are you there? When the woman was killed, and that you don't care. That's that. No. That's not true. Things happen. Maybe was it a robbery that went wrong that you couldn't control? But you didn't mean for it to happen, right, Brett? I mean, is that a possibility? Is that a possibility? Shit happens, right? You see what I'm saying? Shit happens. Maybe you're like, fuck. You didn't mean for it to happen. I said, no. He's not that. He's only 18 years old. He's not a psychopath. He's not. That's what they're saying. Are they right, Brett? Are they right?
People are gonna think what they want.
That's right. There's nothing to do about it. I'm asking. I mean, maybe they are right. The way that you present yourself to me and to everybody else down here is that you don't give a shit. What did Tracy say? But I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, I shoot straight from there. I've been straightforward with you. Since you've been here, haven't I? And have I not treated you fair? I haven't cussed at you. I haven't called you names. I mean, the other detectives are talking to Tracy, but it's not good. I can tell you that right now.
Well, she just
There's a look on me. I walked out. With a look on her face.
when they showed her that. I ain't doing nothing. So,
I'll attack me. I'm not going to attack you. Oh, have you reached out? What are you looking for?
is that a camera right there?
No, we don't have cameras in here, okay? This ain't the first 48
Lying
hours.
ass. Lying ass.
The only thing...
Talking about they ain't got no camera in that room. Motherfucker know you a damn liar.
Yeah, I can swear on that. The only people that are in here talking right now are me and you. I can swear on that.
I already know you guys got cancer.
You be the only ones talking.
Yes, me and you be the only ones talking.
And I'm gonna say this too. Even though he said he just outright lied, talking about there was no camera in that room. See, they have cameras and they have two-way mirrors in every interrogation room on the face of the planet. So what he just said is straight up bullshit.
This is a pivotal moment in not just Brett's interview, but the entire investigation. It seems like the rapport building has worked, and Brett may finally be ready to divulge information. With a sense that a confession is soon to follow, the detective will now do whatever he has to do to keep Brett talking.
I know that this is a long one, but I just want to get this out of the way.
Yeah, if so, I'm gonna say
Another damn word. Okay. Brett, look at me. I'm here with you all the way. Just me and you, okay?
already know I'm gonna do time for this. Okay. Already don't sweet sugar the shit.
Okay.
But I don't know if I can reduce my time.
Okay. We don't make promises here, but the fact that, you know...
Okay, 4 signatures.
No, we can't.
We signatures now.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
And this honestly did happen at work.
It did honestly happen?
Yeah.
Okay, I believe it. Now, when I'm looking at you, I believe it. Okay.
Honestly. As long as I don't get lethal injection.
I want to treat you right since you treated me right. Okay?
Sorry about lying about the passport.
That's okay. That's okay.
So you, I ain't admitting to nothing yet.
Okay. That's fine.
Damn, I ain't no psychopath.
I know you're not, Brett. I can look at you and tell you, shit just went bad. And I just need to know I need to know why. I need to know that. Come on, buddy. I told you it's just me and you in here. Come on. Can I, just 1 second? Okay. Would you rather be staying here with you?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You might find yourself puzzled about what just happened. The detective was seemingly seconds away from a confession when someone knocked on the door. Or a family emergency. What could possibly be important enough to risk blowing an instant solve in this investigation? It certainly seems like an odd exit time. But when the officer returns, the purpose for the quick departure is revealed. The detective needed a copy of Brett's Miranda rights in order to read them out to him and get him to sign his name acknowledging them. A very important step that, if missed, could have led to a voided confession.
Heat Press Nation is pleased to announce the expansion of our directed film selection. Introducing...
And get him to sign his name acknowledging them. A very important step that, if missed, could have led to a voided confession.
No. It's just gonna be me and him talking, I promise you that. I'm sorry, buddy. Now listen. You're doing me right, I'm gonna do you right, okay? So I'm gonna let you know is I'm gonna let you know you're Miranda Williams. Okay? Alright, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used in court as evidence against you. You are entitled to have a lawyer now and have you present or any time during question. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you without cause, and he may be present at all times during question. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions. Because the burden of proof is on the officer to prove a voluntary waiver was knowingly and intentionally made after you give these warnings. Do you understand these rights? Alright.
That what you're running for to get down?
Yeah, that's what I'm out of breath, man. I gotta stop smoking. So you understand your rights, right? So let's start from how all this got started. Okay, I'm right here with you.
Has Tracy gave in yet?
Has Tracy what?
Gave in yet?
Tracy's down the hall. I don't know if she has or not. Okay? I can't say that. But I know she's, let me put this, we know she's involved, okay? I know she is. But she's down the hall talking to the other detectives, okay?
Call your mom.
Call your mother. Call your mother. Here. I can't be on this. I don't have the cord for it. You want your cell phone? Huh? Alright. Do you want to wait? You want to talk first? Let's talk first and you can call your mom, okay? Alright, come on, buddy. Alright. You want me to step out? Alright, now, y'all.
My mom ain't gonna get in trouble if she didn't do nothing. Just call her.
No. You lost your soul because you don't
Damn it.
not he ain't coming, and you know he ain't coming. That's the point that I'm trying to make right now. That's the thing. See that? How bad you want to get that? I'll tell you. They're saying he's a psychopath. Are you a psychopath? No.
Is from him. Brett claims it wasn't him. The detective also goes on to ask Brett if Gail was forced to drink any bleach during the ordeal. He answers no, but states that he did clean up the crime scene a little bit. Brett is then asked if he drank any of the alcohol that was found in the bedroom. He claims he didn't, but states that Gail did. Just before the detective leaves the room again, he allows Brett to make another phone call to his mother.
Hello?
Hey, Brett.
They know.
They know what, son?
Hey, where's Seth at?
Who?
Seth, the dude you met.
Seth, the one that bought the motorcycle, he dropped me off at the house.
And where's he at?
He left, and he went home. I can't talk to him.
Well, the cops know everything. Someone made a police report and had all the texting on it and the call information.
Made a police report of what?
Of what we did, and I just told them.
Getting all your daily nutrients is hard work, but nutrition gaps in your diet are inevitable.
And I just told them.
But I don't know what you've done. Everybody knows what you've done but me.
That's what I'm saying. They know what I done.
What did you do, though?
I killed somebody.
Who?
This lady.
Why?
I don't know, Mom. But I'm on the phone by myself, I think. I don't know. All I know is I love you.
I mean, I love you too, but why did you do it by yourself?
I don't know, Mom. For money?
By yourself?
Yes.
For money?
Yes.
Why would you do that, though?
I don't know, Mom.
Can you confess?
Yes.
Where's my car?
It's in a parking deck. They made me walk. They made me park the car and walk. You'll get it back shortly today or something.
Are you getting out?
No, I'm going to prison for life.
Who said that?
They did.
Is there someone I can talk to?
When they get back in,
Who is the person that you did that to?
this older lady.
Did you know her?
No.
Or did you just break in on her or something?
I walked in.
You walked in on what?
I walked in on her and broke in her house.
They only put you up to that.
I don't know, Mom.
A game.
No.
That crazy woman?
No, Mom.
Right.
But look, I might have to go. I'm about to call Dad.
Son, I love you. Please, I need to know more than this. This does not make no sense, though.
I love you, Mom.
Somebody thank you.
No. I really do love you, Mom.
I love you too. Who do I talk to?
One of the detectives or people here.
And you have them call me and tell me what's going on?
Yes.
Or do I come and see you and find out what's going on?
I don't know. Whenever they get back.
And you have them call me?
Yes.
Because I told you, son, never do something you can't get out of stuff when you get in trouble. Why would you do that?
I don't know, Mom.
Your whole life.
She's gone.
Why?
I don't know. Because I was struggling and needed money.
Nobody's struggling that damn bad. Your dad always had a door open to you. Always, just because you get along with him. You would get your job any day. You're struggling when you don't have no food and no family to call.
No.
call me.
I love you.
Next, Brett will call his father and break the news to him.
This is Mike.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Brett. What's going on, man?
It's over.
What do you mean it's over? Where are you at?
I'm in a police station.
Well, I don't know what happened. Do not say anything to anybody till there's a lawyer involved.
I already told him.
What?
I already told him.
What happened, man?
I killed this old man.
Why? Why? Can I come up there and see you?
I'll never be out. I'll be in here for life.
Brett, you don't know that.
I do. I already told him everything.
Shaver love. They sent me a few different sizes, I guess, to see which size works for me. We're gonna put.
I already told him everything.
What was it all about? Well, all I can tell you to do is don't say nothing else.
I told everything, Dad, from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep that day. There ain't nothing else to tell.
Were you with people?
No, I was by myself.
You were by yourself.
Yeah,
And why did you?
because I did it, Dad.
I don't hey, this is probably recorded or whatever.
I know it. I don't know, but I'm on one of their phones.
Have you talked to your mom?
Yeah. I did.
This isn't you, son.
I know it's not me, Dad.
This is not you.
I just wanted money and I couldn't get it.
You know, I can help you in any way in the world. What did you need money for?
I was broke. I could barely pay my bills.
Wait, Brett. Why, son? Why? What? There's more to it than that.
No, there's not.
You mentioned something else to me the other night that made more damn sense than what you just said.
There's nothing more to it.
On the contrary, there's a lot more to it, and we'll get to that later. Brett continues to claim that he acted alone, but his father isn't
There ain't no
buying it.
way
Then
he
Brett
acted
finally
alone,
says
man.
it was all a setup. When the detective returns to the room, Brett's dad reminds him not to say anything else until legal consultation is acquired.
Let me tell you something. You don't say nothing to nobody until we get a lawyer.
I already done told him, Dad.
Well, look. All they can be, I don't know. I just wouldn't say nothing to nobody else because I know there's more to this story than what you're telling me. I've seen you go through stuff at school and you want to take the blame for everything to cover everything up. You're an adult now. You don't take blame for nobody, no matter what the consequence. But you don't take credit.
Brett's father hangs up the call shortly after agreeing to come down to where his son is being interviewed. If you were to ask me for my opinion, and this is only speculation based off observation, I believe that both Brett's mother and father knew more than they were letting on to know. Just how much, I'm not sure. I also found it odd how soft they were on him after he's just confessed to murdering an older lady for money. They seem primarily fixated on feeling sorry for him, more so than his victim. As a parent, if my child committed a crime like this, my reaction would be totally different. But then again, people are different, especially when dealing with something traumatic. I can't help but wonder if Brett was a my son can do no wrong type of kid. This type of parenting structure has been shown through research to contribute to sociopathic behavior patterns later on. And to be honest, I detect this in both Brett and his sister Courtney Kelly, who you'll see later on. But the big question here would be, do they or does Brett Kelly feel empathy? While Brett has admitted to his crime, has he actually taken responsibility for what he's done and shown true remorse for his actions? Sure, his tears could be perceived as such, but I'd hazard a guess that they're rooted more in narcissistic regret. Is Brett sorry for what he's done wrong? Or is he merely regretful he got caught for the sake of his own freedom? When Brett gave his reason for murdering Gil, he said it was because he needed the money and could barely pay his bills. Yet he was living with Tracy Jones, he owned a motorbike, he often smoked weed, and he frequently ate at Steak and Shake. He'd also just quit his job, and now stays home all day getting blasted and playing video games. Not to mention his room was covered in takeaway cups, solo cups, empty bottles, and a lot of other stuff that cost money. So if Brett Kelly was struggling with money, it was his own damn fault.
But let me ask you something, just something that's bothered me that I'm hoping that you can clarify for me, okay? This $12,000 that was deposited into your account, right? But where did that come from? Where did that 12 grand come from? Where'd you get it?
That's gonna be a long story. Can I take a pee real quick?
Yeah, let's take a guess. Come on.
I ain't gonna see Tracy, do I?
No, I won't let you see her.
A long story indeed. When Brett comes back from using the restroom, he explains the whole thing. Allow me to summarize. His sister Courtney Kelly was badly strung out on drugs when she too started living in Tracy's apartment. One day the idea came up that Tracy Jones could gain access to the financial accounts at Calder Pinkston by holding her co-worker Gail Spencer hostage. Tracy could then embezzle the money out of the firm's escrow account and into new accounts opened in Brett and Courtney's names. Once the deed was done and the stolen funds were transferred, the people involved in the crime would all flee the country together. So the morning Tracy went over to Gail Spencer's house, she set her up to be held hostage by leaving her door unlocked when she left. And that's how Brett entered Gil's house along with another man named Keith Dozier. Brett held Gil hostage at gunpoint while Keith served as a lookout. During this time, Tracy went to work as usual at Calder Pinkston, where she used Gil's security fob to wire out the stolen money, with the bulk of it going into Courtney Kelly's accounts. Courtney took care of arranging passports for everyone involved and was supposed to divide the rest of the stolen money out of her account to the rest of the crews. In the end, as previously admitted, Brett was indeed the one who murdered Gil, but he insists that Keith Dozier helped him hold the bag over her head. Once she was dead, they fled together in her car. But that's not the full story. Someone did something specifically disgusting to Gil just before she died, and so far, just exactly who that is still unclear. But Brett goes on to drop a massive bomb on the whole scheme when he reveals that his sister Courtney actually stiffed the whole group and fled with most of the money and her passport, refusing to answer the phone to any of them. He had no idea where she was, but stated that because she's already wanted, she shouldn't be hard to find. And she wasn't. Courtney was actually on a drug-fueled spending spree with another guy who also later got charged for his role in the plot. Courtney was captured on CCTV all around the area making purchases and hiding out in hotels. The total amount that ended up getting stolen from Calder Pinkston was $1,292,300. Text messages later revealed the panic Tracy was going through after Courtney ditched the rest of the crew with the money. I mean, the whole thing was messy. Nothing was really that well thought out. To be honest, it amazes me that these clowns were actually able to even get the money, but they did. And from what I could see online, it looks like Calder Pinkston had a real tough time trying to get that money back. But now the detective wants to know more about how Brett received the order to murder Gail Spencer.
Even if kitchen chaos has got you sweating, shipping costs shouldn't.
More about how Brett received the order to murder Gail Spencer.
What happened after that?
After that, nothing, just talked about it. I cried a lot. Didn't want to do it. I thought of my grandma when I was doing it, but I seen the picture of her son in her house, and that's all I thought about was my dad. How he felt when he took a loss of his mom. And how I wouldn't. And I just broke down.
What did Tracy do?
Same thing. Just sat in her room.
She cried?
I guess. I hope so. I don't know.
You don't know?
That's the only reason I told y'all, because I thought of my grandma. I didn't want that junk to happen to her, but I guess when there's money.
Ah, come on. It's fucking up again. Okay, 234. I don't have to go out and come back in. Damn it. I gotta go out, come back in, and play that last little part. Thing's been a pain in the ass.
Sir.
Okay, there we go.
What happened after that?
After that, nothing, just talked about it. I cried a lot. Didn't want to do it. I thought of my grandma when I was doing it. I seen the picture of her son in her house, and that's all I thought about was my dad. How he felt when he took the loss of his mom. And how I wouldn't. And I just broke down.
What did Tracy do?
Same thing. Just sat in her room.
She cried?
I guess. I hope so. I don't know.
You don't know?
That's the only reason I told y'all, because I thought of my grandma. I didn't want that jump to happen to her, but I guess when there's money involved and you're needed it, you'll do anything.
It's true. Some people will do things they wouldn't normally do for money, especially when they're desperate. But desperate people aren't typically eating out while mending fresh tattoos. Brett seems more concerned about the fact that he's ratting out the rest of the group than he does the actual crime.
I knew I ain't gonna tell me, but I know Tracy has not told on me anything. I know she hasn't. And I was not supposed to say nothing either. But I can't do it.
I understand. You know what that's showing? That you've got a heart. That you have a heart, Brett. Okay? That's what that's showing. And you can't help it. Okay? You can't help it. At least you have a heart and it's like, look, this is what happened. I'm sorry. Things went too far. You know what she's doing? I didn't kill nobody. So, you know, who looks like a monster? Right? No remorse, nothing like that. But anyway, at least you're seeing, you know, you're showing that you have a heart. Alright? I know things went too far, but at least you manned up and came down here and asking for forgiveness for what you've done. Now,
Oh, I'm almost done with this damn thing. Come on. Come on and work. Speed this up. Man, I gotta get rid of this and go back into it. Damn thing's a pain in the ass. Play this last little bit.
Same thing. Just sat in her room.
she cried?
I guess. I hope so. I don't know.
You don't know?
That's the only reason I told you, because I thought of my grandma. I didn't want that jump to happen to her, but I guess when there's money involved and you're needed it, you'll do anything.
It's true. Some people will do things they wouldn't normally do for money, especially when they're desperate. But desperate people aren't typically eating out while mending fresh tattoos. Brett seems more concerned about the fact that he's ratting out the rest of the group than he does the actual crime.
I knew I ain't gonna tell me, but I know Tracy has not told on me anything. I know she hasn't. And I was not supposed to say nothing either, but I can't do it.
I understand. You know what that's showing? That you've got a heart. That you have a heart, Brett. Okay? That's what that's showing. And you can't help it. Okay? You can't help it. At least you have a heart and it's like, look, this is what happened. I'm sorry. Things went too far. You know what she's doing? I ain't killed nobody. So, you know, who looks like a monster? Right? No remorse, nothing like that. But anyway, at least you're seeing, you know, you're showing that you have a heart. Alright? I know things went too far, but at least you've manned up and came down here and asking for forgiveness for what you've done. Now, is there anything else that you can think of that you may have left out? And I'm not saying why, I'm saying that just you may have forgotten. That's the absolute truth. All of this was over so that Tracy could embezzle money, so that she could transfer monies from that account to y'all's accounts. Did she transfer money in your account? And it was today, and it was $12,000. How much was it?
200 and something thousand.
She transferred $200,000 in your account?
It was 800 something thousand in my sister's.
There was 800,000 in your sister's account? Or was it just those two accounts?
That's it.
Okay, alright.
Big money.
That's a lot of money, Brett. That's a lot of money. Yeah,
I did it.
Okay, alright.
The detective decides to take a break, and before he leaves the room, Brett offers to surrender his phone. If you'll remember, Brett's father is currently on his way up to the police station. Brett is left alone in the room for around 45 minutes, during which time he either hides his face or puts his head down. Then, roughly 3 minutes before his father enters the room to console him, Brett dramatically drops to his knees and begins to pray. Now, I have no proof of this, and it's purely speculation, but I wonder if Brett caught wind of his father's voice in the building and staged the whole thing to feign remorse in front of his dad. Again, it's just an observation and opinion based on the fact that I don't believe Brett Kelly is truly remorseful for what he did. I think he wanted the next person that walked through that door to believe he was sorry for killing Gail Spencer. But Gail Spencer wasn't just murdered. After Brett's interview concludes with the cat out of the bag, Tracy is brought back in singing a completely different tune as the denial has faded. I've drastically trimmed down her second interview into quick bullet points as she finally comes clean. And this is where things get a little dark.
Well, it all started out as a joke. Like last Sunday, I was like, if we had the money, would you want to just take off and go anywhere? And we was like, yeah, we'd want to do that. You know, we was really just joking around. Well, Tuesday or Wednesday, I realized that there was a big account on fund on that Friday for, so I was $800,000.
You
So
greedy
me and Brett was talking about it,
motherfuckers.
you know, and I said, only thing is I don't know that Gail would let me deal with that kind of money. I said I'd have to figure out a way to keep her from coming to the office. He said, well, I'd go to her house and make her sit there all day. And I said, well, and then that's when we started talking about that, and it just kind of escalated from there. I went to the neighborhood, and I went up to her door. I knocked on the door, and asked her if I could use the restroom and get something to drink. And I went inside. Brett and another guy went in the house, and I walked out the door. They were only supposed to keep her there. That was not it. Just keep her there while I could transfer money that day, and then we were going to leave.
1 second. That's all it takes to lose your child in a
All
busy
this
place.
old
Summer adventures
bullshit
are
ass
supposed to be fun,
greed.
but
they were only supposed to keep her there. That was not it. Just keep her there while I could transfer money that day, and then we were going to leave. And that's how things were supposed to unfold. She was never supposed to be killed. That was never a plan to kill her. That was not the plan at all. he called me during the day and said, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should kill her. And I said, no, you shouldn't. I said, but I don't want to know anything. I just don't, because that was not the plan. That was not the intention. The intention was just to keep her in that house during the day long enough for me to transfer $880,000 into his sister's accounts, Courtney and Kelly. $249,000 and $130,000 or $60,000, I believe, to Brett's accounts.
Because the information I'm getting, I'm going to shoot you straight forward, okay, since you're being honest with me.
Okay.
The information I'm getting is that you called Brett about 4 o'clock and said, do it.
No, I never told him to do it.
You didn't?
No.
Okay, because, I mean, it's all on the table now, so
No, I never told him to do it. I said,
I'll be able to check that to the phone.
I know.
Okay.
I said, I don't want to know. And he did tell me about that he told me that he made her give him a blowjob. And that pissed me off, and I told him that was stupid, that he should not have done that. That should not have happened at all. And no, I never told him to do it.
So, which one? Brett told you that he made her give him a blowjob?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you say
sick motherfucker.
No. I think he probably wouldn't have, because he knows I would have got mad. He wouldn't have.
Right, if he would have done that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But it was never the plan to kill her. I would never have.
Oh, I almost forgot I'm dealing with a bunch of drug heads and idiots here. We got 12 more minutes. After this, I'm fucking done.
I never thought of doing that.
Tracy may not have been the one that gave the order for Gail to die. Perhaps Brett Kelly really is a sick and twisted individual who decided to deviate from a robbery scheme and assault and kill for his own pleasure. But when it comes to the sexual assault part of this case, it bothers me how Tracy describes her feelings on it. Put yourself in her flippers. Your boyfriend just murdered a woman and intimately violated her. Would your response to his heinous action be to tell him that it was stupid? And assuming you intended only to rob this now murder victim, would you still plan to take your kids and run away with this man? Would he still be living with you? You could maybe say Tracy was scared and already in too deep to back out. But if you ask me, this reasoning doesn't stick any more than tape does to oil. Because Tracy is so adamant in her first interview that Brett would have never done any of this. Had she truly been scared of him, it might have even played in her favor. But something about Tracy just doesn't sit right with me. I'm not entirely convinced that she and Brett are much different from one another. When Keith Dozier was interviewed, he too confirmed that Brett violated Gail in the same way.
I'm walking back and forth, from the window to make sure nobody comes. And Brett comes to me, he's like, bro, don't come in the room. And I was like, why? And he's like, just don't come in the room, just give me like 5 minutes. Okay. And then
Sick motherfucker.
Maybe 10 minutes go by. He comes back out. He's like, alright, it's cool. And I see her coming out the bathroom and she's shaking. Worse than when we got there. And I was like, are you alright? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. And she's just drinking her water. And I was like, what happened? She's like, nothing. And so Brett would get a phone call. He'll turn on the water in the bathroom, and then he'll go into the other room, and he'll talk. And then I'll watch her, and then I'll walk back there, like, what's going on? And he's talking to someone, he's like, I might have to kill her. And I'm like, kill who? For what? He's like, bro, I made her something. And I was like,
why would you do something that stupid? I'm like, I'm like, either way it goes, we're because if we leave and she calls the police and she tells them what you did, they're gonna pump her stomach and they're gonna connect it back to you. Because he said he busted her mouth and he made her swallow. I was like, it's gonna come back to you.
George C. Gentry Lawyers delivers results.
I was injured. They got me $774,000.
Go with the name you know and trust.
Law firm on the line. Call 999-999.
Why 30-year-olds love True Classic. Number 1. True Classic tees are designed for regular guys. Most brands make t-shirts for models, which is great for models.
Sick motherfucker.
He's like, well, we gotta kill her. I was like, shit, even if you kill her, they still gonna find you. He's talking about, he's like, no, I talked to my mom, and, you know what I'm saying, she said the stomach acids are gonna eat it all up, and I was like,
wait a minute. The dude's mom knew he was gonna kill this damn lady? Oh, fuck no.
One thing, like, you know, after you die, everything stops working. First light. You think we should let her go? And I was like, hell, check her license. If she says anything, or if you even think that she says anything, you're probably gonna come back and kill her anyway. So I was like, and then he went in there. He's like, can we trust you not to say anything after we leave? She's like, no, I'm not gonna say anything. I'll sit here however long you want me to, and I won't move. Threatened to kill our grandchildren. And when the other room, he was like, bro, I don't believe you. I'm gonna kill him. I was like, he's like, God with me. I was like, I can't have nobody's blood on my hands. I was like, I can't do that. He was like, oh, alright then. He's like, I'm not gonna make you do it. He's like, you've been with me this long, so.
ask what you're...
Back. Watch it. Don't ever follow me or bye. She just laid out on the bed. He goes in the bathroom, he's looking for something, he goes in the kitchen, and he starts spraying Clorox everywhere. Then when he calls somebody, he's like, the bitch is dead.
Three of the four people charged in the death of Macon legal secretary Gail Spencer will serve life in prison.
A crowd of family and friends
As they
dressed in
should.
red looked on as Bibb Superior Court Judge Tillman handed out the ruling. Tracy Michelle Jones, Michael Brett Kelly, and Kelly's half-sister Courtney Nicole Kelly all pleaded guilty today to felony murder as well as a slew of other charges. Courtney Kelly has the possibility of getting parole. District Attorney David Cook says he wants today's hearing to be a message to those who commit a violent crime.
We're just grateful to be able to get justice for Gail Spencer, her family, and the community on 3 out of the 4 defendants. Had the attorney not gotten sick earlier this year, we would have wrapped these folks up about a month ago.
Trial. A fourth co-defendant in this case, Keith Anthony Dozier, is in the Bibb County Jail awaiting trial. Cook says the state is seeking the maximum sentencing on Dozier, which could mean life in prison without parole. A trial date has not been set.
Everyone involved in this case and covering it up is a monster. Obviously, some players here were bigger monsters than others, but none of them seemed to adequately mind the actions of the cruelest member in their crew. And if anyone outside of those that were convicted aided the people involved, you are just as guilty, and I'm sure karma will see you through. Judging by the facts in this story, it certainly seems like plenty of others knew something, but did nothing. Big respect to Dustin for having the gall to come forward. Thanks to you, this man and 3 other Macon monsters are behind bars. I'm Mr. Black,
right.
and thank you for watching One Crime.
Good night.